right now. We're live.
We're live.
We're live. What's up, world? Oh, I forgot I was going to do a countdown. I didn't do that.
10.
I can retroactively. Wait. We're going to do it right now. Okay, guys, pretend the stream didn't start yet.
Don't even remember you were
Pretend
born. Just go back.
Pretend. Something like inorganic, like, you know, it's in the first notes of the flavor. Almost tastes like.
What do you think it is?
Inorganic, like plasticky, you know, but it's aluminum, so it wouldn't be that. But
and the ingredients are carbonated water and natural flavors.
That's why I know.
That being natural flavors, though, sometimes you can have some funky.
Anyway, hi guys. So we're here now. What's up, ML Maven? What's up, Brett Larameth, Sweet Pea, Greg Kirby, John 42. God, I can't read. We'll give you a full Pancake update. Do not worry. Hello, everybody. The James Baker, Green Lion, Sweet Pea, Donkeysaurus Rex. All you wonderful people. Joseph Yanowitz is here.
Greg Kirby, great list.
Rokins is here. We got a lot of great people. We got the Mindless, a lot of great members of the Mindless Mob in the chat tonight.
Thanks, Rokins, for joining our Patreon page. I really appreciate that.
And
Joseph Yanowitz.
Yeah. First super chat tonight already from Super House Roundhead says, "Did you get around to watching Spitting Image?" Not yet, but because I told Jeff when he came back from the bathroom about the one he missed, we got excited about it, and I brought it up. I was like, we should watch that the next day. And we're like, yeah, we should. And then we totally just haven't.
Is the Batista movie?
No, it's that thing, the show with the parodies, the one with The Rock who has the puppet of Kevin Hart.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. The celebrity parody.
You know, Sir Ruin is the only fan we got to hang out this year.
That's true.
In January.
Wow, all the way back then. Technically, no, because Rocky's not really a fan. Like, he's a friend now, but technically Rocky and Saz started out as fans. So.
Well, to be fair, I never knew them as fans.
You only met them as friends.
I only knew them as your friends.
That's fair.
So,
and I had already, become their friend.
You had been to their wedding.
I'd been to their wedding.
It was a different relationship.
Exactly. I've been to their wedding. I think
Kendo was a listener of the show. Now he's one of my closest friends. Yeah, folks, if you don't know that, Kendo was like you guys. He listened regularly. He became a patron. One of our Patreon perks is you get to be on the show if you just pick a topic and we'll pick a time. And Kendo's like, I'm going to this wrestling show. I was like, ooh, could you come back? He had already been on the show. He's like, I'm going to this wrestling pay-per-view. I said, would you come back and do notes? He's like, of course I would. Dude took a notebook to a pay-per-view. He had a fucking skybox. He was that into the show. He took these notes. Then Dustin quits like 2 weeks later. I was like, hey, you guys cool with that Kendo guy coming back? Like, yeah, he's great. I was like, you want to come on the show full time? He's like, yes, I do.
That's fucking
God
awesome.
damn it. We're buddies. I love it.
That's perfect. Kendo's the shit. Kendo was the first bullshitter that I hit it off with. Because we were at Celebration. So we had Anna and I had just met the bullshitters on the floor, and we were all trying to move towards the exit because we were going to get some lunch, and then we were going to, but before we had even exited the building, we had already abandoned come back. We had gotten to, we're going to go get lunch and probably just go get drunk and probably not come back. So we had things escalated quickly, but we're moving towards the exits, and here's the fucking thing. Originally, Jeremy was going to come to lunch with us, so it's Jeremy, Jeff, and the rest of us all moving our way down.
Thank God he didn't. This wouldn't happen because he had been there the whole time.
True story. Actually, he probably just left earlier anyway. Oh
wait, we were in a bar. He would have never went.
That's true. He would have bounced when it became clear we were all just drinking and fucking around. So every 2 fucking steps, someone's like, "Oh my God, Jeremy! Oh my God, Jeff!" Every 2 fucking steps, we're all trying to move towards the exit, and it's fucking stop, and they're getting harassed by him, but people are recognizing them. It was exciting. It was the first time we were all getting recognized in a place like this. But Anna, Miss Speed Demon, is like practically out the door.
Anna glides across the floor at this speed.
She does. It's like moonwalking at hyperspeed, but forward. It's weird.
Like, the automated walkways in airports?
Yeah.
Anna's normal speed is that, if you walk on that.
Like, if you're walking on that, yeah, that's exactly. Like, if you looked next to you and you saw Anna walking past you, you would think she was on a people mover.
When we were trying to leave Celebration the Saturday, right? We couldn't we were trying to go to eat. We couldn't keep up with her. And, you were talking to Kendo, and I was just like, I was trying to talk to Ethan, and then we had that guy that was following us around.
The guy that we were trying to get rid of, who like clearly was like, "Where are we going, guys?" And we're like, "Somewhere without you."
Well, the thing is, he was really cool, and I wanted to hang out with him, and I didn't have any problem with anything. I lost his business card because he was trying to set up some stuff.
Yeah.
And I completely lost the card. So, dude, if you happen to be here or on our channel, I'll bring this up again. I didn't dislike you. I lost your business card. I wanted to like make the connections and go.
He didn't find it. It was just like at that particular moment, it was like literally like the bullshitters, Ethan, and it was like the fandom people all trying to go out to lunch together. Before like Ethan was trying to take us all to lunch before we went. That was really the big thing. Is Ethan, I think, already said he was taking us out to lunch. So it was like he told us he was taking us out to lunch. We can't just take you with us. Exactly. We can't just take you with us, guys. Sorry. Like I don't know how to tell you this, but
Ethan, 2019 was our year to have meals with Ethan.
That's true. That's true. We had two. We had three.
Oh yeah,
deep dish.
Pizza.
Yeah.
I was fucking annihilated.
That was actually some of the most time I got to hang out with Ethan on that trip though, because we sat next to each other in the pizza place, and that was the first moment.
I can't not taste the plastic.
I told you. I know. I hope it's just that one though. You think it's all of them?
Read the liner. Non-BPA lining. So there's some kind of lining on the can.
I
didn't think aluminum cans had a lining. Like
I didn't think so either, but the cherry one didn't have it at all.
That's true.
So I just wonder if it's maybe just that can, or maybe just like I wouldn't rule out grapefruit on the whole. Now I want to open one and find out. I wouldn't rule out their grapefruit on the whole. Off of this, I would give it at least one more shot to see if that's persistent across all of them.
This is like such an exciting different opening.
Okay, now I think it's actually a flavor choice. I think they're trying to use. I think they actually used. You know what I think they did? Because now I can actually taste what it is. I think it's actually a honey flavor. And it's just, you know how honey sometimes like will taste really weird like that?
Like those Manuka drops are really good though.
Yeah. But I think it's I think they might have used a little honey flavor to try to get some of the sweetness you'd want from grapefruit. But it doesn't work. It doesn't pair. Like they needed to use a different sweet profile. So it's just you notice it. The thing is it doesn't blend. Usually it's like you drink a fruit juice from a store, it's like 90% apple juice and grape juice because those flavors blend in. Whatever they use to try to make the flavor profile, they didn't get it quite right. So it sticks out. Like the rest of it's all really good.
So what you're telling me is when we go to Whole Foods to pick up the mashed potatoes, we're going to go file a complaint?
Yes.
Okay, we're not complaining to you. We're just complaining to your company.
To your company, your formula for your grapefruit 365 bubble water is just not right. You just got to fix it.
We should email them.
We should.
And we should each send our own 3-page letter, like why the flavor's wrong.
I'm going to tell a whole story about my journey. At first I thought it was like a plasticky flavor. I was so disappointed because Whole Foods, the lead.
Send them this. Send them the stream. They'll hear us do it normal. And then they're going to say, then we're going to send the email. We like the company enough. I don't know the company. I like that store. But my point is, like, outside of this bad flavor choice, I've been happy.
Very happy.
But this is so egregious.
This is very egregious.
I just have to fucking throw the can.
Yeah. See, it's not like the sweet potato puffs, which were a gamble from the get-go, you know. And so when they did not pan out, it wasn't a disappointment. It was just like, oh, well, I guess we're never buying these again.
Yeah, it's that fake cheese powder.
Yeah.
Vegan cheese powder is a no-go.
Vegan cheese powder, yeah. I can do vegan. The thing is, I have had things now with vegan cheese that I don't hate, which is very surprising to me because I never thought that would be the case. The powder.
Only Cheetos cheese powder really is the one I enjoy.
I don't mind cheese, regular cheese powders. I do not dig the vegan ones. It's just there's something. It's just trying too hard and not doing it. It feels more like too much like sawdust. I don't know. Sean A says Deadpool writers of 1 and 2 have been replaced by the Molyneux sisters, writers of Bob's Burgers. Can you both please discuss this on your platforms?
I meant to talk about this on our show, Sean, about earlier. It's about an hour ago, but I completely forgot to talk about it.
Sean A, yeah, we absolutely can because I hadn't heard this yet, but that sounds terrible.
Well, here's let me say, we talked about this on our hangover on Patreon yesterday, discussing this. Now, I don't think it's a good choice. Mm-hmm. There's only one scenario where I think this could be good.
Okay.
Hear me out.
I'm hearing.
You notice how when you have trendsetters, like usually when you have the first one to do something, sometimes they come up a little edgy. They're trying to show that they're just as good as the dude, so they exaggerate. Deadpool can be two things. It can be woke trash with these women writers, but if these women are trying to prove a point, it could be the most over-the-top,
ridiculous,
ridiculousness, because they're basically trying to dick measure the world.
Exactly.
So if they try to dick measure the world and give us some balls of the wall fun craziness, I'm going to be happy with the movie. But if this movie comes out and sucks, we know why.
Exactly. Now, I'm not, because of what I've seen of Bob's Burgers, I'm not immediately concerned about the woke trash element. Although it's very transparent that they're hired, women.
I don't like Bob's Burgers.
I'm not a crazy fan of it. But I've watched Kelly is, and so I think I watched episodes with her. I like it. I have no problem with it.
Every episode of Bob's Burgers I've seen is at her house.
I don't. To me, the first thing that struck me about this is just tonally they don't seem right for that thing. That said, the flip of it though is, Ryan Reynolds has been very involved in this project. If he stays very involved, then I think it's more likely we get what you're saying, where I think if he's involved with the creation of it, I think he will drive that.
Listen to the story behind it though.
Deadpool writer is gone because of diversity. Ryan Reynolds sells out. Of course, that's how it is.
It's not a good photo of Ryan Reynolds. It doesn't really look like him.
It doesn't look like him at all. It looks like an old man version of him. Yeah. A weird old man version.
So if my phone looks at that picture of him and it sees it as office suppliers, seriously. So when you click on the Ryan Reynolds picture, you get that, right? Then you click this office suppliers thing and you get all this weird shit in my phone, like pictures of Cyclops from Neil Adams. But do you look at his face and see office supplies?
No, I don't.
When you think of office supplies, do you think of this?
Not usually.
I have that magazine.
Probably in your office.
I bought it because I wasn't a wrestling fan yet, so I had to go back and get it as an adult. Okay. It's got the coolest thing in the world in it. So when you advertise like a shoe or something, what do you like? They advertise the shoe or Michael Jordan playing basketball or something. The way they advertise just his t-shirts, it's him on a throne with people shining his shoes and like holding his t-shirts. It's really bizarre.
So at the end of back to the topic for just a quick second. At the end of the day, I have trouble pushes forward the new riders will remain R-rated. I don't get Deadpool 3 fan, blah blah blah.
Oh, we'll be R-rated.
Will be R-rated. Ryan Reynolds tapped the Molyneux sisters to pen the sequel. All right, blah blah blah. So here's the thing. So long as Ryan Reynolds still has a key role in the creation of Deadpool, I'm not gonna push the panic button. Because let's not forget how this first movie happened in the first place. This movie is a Ryan Reynolds passion project. The first Deadpool film is a fan-made film. It just so happens that fan is very rich and has a lot of connections, and is a really talented actor.
Have you heard the story more to that too? How he's the one that they think leaked the test footage
to try to do that?
Yeah, like it
wouldn't surprise me to generate the.
Because you saw that right years ago.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that, but I remember the story and all that. And the whole reason it got made was because that stuff leaked and people wanted it.
It's the highway scene for the movie.
Oh, okay.
But it's just CGI. But he does the voice and it's like fully rendered. I think it was a pitch, like a fully done pitch, and they said no, so he leaked it and then
it happened. Yeah.
Which is cool. I respect
Which is awesome. And look, I'm glad he did because I'm glad that movie got made. Like if he did that, power to him. Because we needed that movie. That movie's fucking amazing.
Deadpool's great.
And the sequel, it took me two viewings to say the sequel holds up.
Will you watch it a third time?
I will watch it a third time. I will say the sequel still brings it. It is different. It is not as good. It is not as good. I'm never going to say to this. It is never going to be as good as the first one. So few things are. But it follows it up acceptably. And I will say that only after seeing it the second time. Because after the first time, I thought I was really disappointed. After the second time, I was like, okay, I can get on board with this.
I gotta then see it again because I hate that kid.
I do not like him either. I would still write him out of the movie. Premise. However, upon second viewing, I just appreciated the film. Knowing what I was going to get, I was able to appreciate the way they put it together. And then I was able to see, yes, they still put this together with the same, all the same sensibilities and quality and stuff of the first one. I'm not with that.
The lack of his girlfriend in the movie was a problem for me because the thing I liked about Deadpool so much was at the very end of the first movie, after he saves her on the old helicarrier, and the Hugh Jackman thing stapled to his head, and he pulls it off, and she kisses him like, all right, cool. The whole message of this movie is you were in love, you turned to human mush,
Yes.
she still loves you. So cool, where do we go from that? Then they kill her and they time travel and bring her back. And to me, that is like when Marvel or even Star Wars kills something for a joke. Like you had this, like, I get it, Deadpool's a funny movie. I like it. I like comedy. I want it to be balls to the wall. But you basically undid the first movie to then tell a story and then undid your undoing to get back to where you were. So in the grand scheme of things, it feels very inconsequential of a movie. Like, it's funny. I love Peter. I thought it's a funny movie.
Wait, she undies at the end?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I did not remember that, actually. When did she undie?
The credits or the time travel or something. She's not dead anymore.
I don't remember that. Was that actually in Deadpool 2, though? I didn't think that was in the movie.
I've seen the movie one time, and I've never read anything about it. I'm pretty sure she comes back. Vanessa, right? Her name?
Marina Baccarin.
Isn't the character's name Vanessa?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever. You probably. Yeah.
Anyway, on a budget of $110 million, it made $785 million. It's a huge success.
Because the last part I remembered was him dying and going to her, and then the whole like acoustic version of "Take on Me" that no one knew existed.
But
then I don't disagree with you. I just literally don't remember it.
In a mid-credit sequence, Negasonic Teenage Warhead and her girlfriend Yuki repair Cable's time-traveling device for Deadpool. He uses it to save the lives of Vanessa and X-Force member Peter, kills both X-Men Origins Wolverine versions of Deadpool and actor Ryan Reynolds. While
I forgot that. Oh, right. It was a. So that's why I didn't mind it, though. Because to me, that was like an epilogue afterthought, kind of happy ever after. Let's make it all fun and fine and whatnot. So yes and no. Like, yeah, it does the things you're saying, but at the same time, because they didn't make it part of the movie, because they let the movie breathe on its own like that, and then just went, reset so we can do this for the next movie. Like, yes, you are right. It does that cheapening factor, and it has that long-term effect. But at the same time, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't detract from the movie itself if you're just looking in a vacuum. Yes, the larger Deadpool character and why you're doing that, all that, it's stupid. But if you just look at that movie alone, it works. And yeah, you're trying to best of both worlds. You're trying to be able to craft a really good story around her being dead without having to build a Deadpool world where she doesn't exist. So it is a little bit of that trying to have your cake and eat it too. Mm-hmm. But I think they do it in a way. I think Deadpool acknowledges that and also does it in a way. Again, we let it go over this whole movie. You get in this movie, she fucking dies. You're like, how? It's fucking ridiculous. With this whole movie, this beautiful story, and you finally get to the end where, because of the entire journey they bring you on, you feel a little more okay with, okay, she's gone. We can live with this. We can deal with this. Fine. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait, what? Nope, just kidding.
To me,
gone.
It's as murky as the New Gamora stuff. If you don't do it the way they do.
I say jury's out. I say we have to see Deadpool 3 first. It could make a lot more sense, or it could be way stupider.
Oh, it won't make any sense because they're going to ignore it. That's the part. Look, I'll bet you Duke's brothers bet they're going to ignore it and just move like it never happened, because that is how people. If it's funny, and it's the same shit with the multiverse crap. Humor in multiverse is an excuse for them not to try, because they can get away with, it's not canon. I didn't like it. Let's just go back and undo it. Let's time travel. Let's do that. It's ridiculous retconning. And I like the Deadpool movies. Did I not spend $50 on the Deadpool set?
Yeah.
Like, I like the character a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I like the fucking movie a lot. But the first movie doesn't have those sins.
Yeah,
therefore,
it makes it
a really good movie.
It makes it a better movie.
The second Deadpool is a lot of fun, and it's got great effects, and I love the casting, and every joke works.
I will accept this.
But without the gravitas.
I will accept your criticism 100%. I think it absolutely does. It even with, I think the whole like, hey, let's kill her off to see if we can manufacture the same gravitas we had in the first movie. But yeah, you're right. It never has it. It doesn't have it. It never has it, because killing her wasn't justified in the beginning of the movie. So you never even got the manufactured one you were looking for. So there's no point to even do it, because you never actually achieved what you were looking for. So they could have saved the whole headache and just given a different reason. He could have fucking thought she was dead the whole movie. I mean, that even could have been the thing. He could have thought she was dead the whole movie, and it turns out she never was.
I would have the criticism.
That'd been fine.
It's funny how the people bring up Back to the Future too. How could Marty see himself in the future when he traveled from the past? It's easy, because you're looking at the Marty that traveled from 1985, got stuck in 1955, and went back to 1985. We're watching that Marty go back while there's two Martys. So it's not like it's bad. There's just two Martys. In the movie, it addresses it. You can't interact with yourself, because you'll make time cease to exist. Space-time continuum is how they talk about it.
Which, that's actually something that when Doctor Strange tries to do, that the way Doctor Strange handles time, which gets fuckity, of course, in Endgame and whatnot. But the way Doctor Strange handles time makes sense, where it's like all the potential iterations, of like, okay, well, you make one choice, exactly, the sliding doors gimmick, and like that makes a lot of sense. But that's really how it goes. That's in a sense how that works in Back to the Future. The only way you can keep multiple people in the same timeline is if they never see each other.
Because even Doc, when he runs into himself, future Doc knows not to talk to past Doc. So he turns around, he puts his hat on, he hands him his shit, he looks away, and the guy goes to thank him. He thanks himself, and he's gone. He goes, huh. And like they address when there's two versions of people.
Yeah.
That's my biggest bitch about Endgame, though, is it spent an hour shitting on Back to the Future because it had bad time travel. I don't even care if it could be the Time Machine. We'll just pick that movie. Endgame's time travel was bad on its own. And then to spend time trying to rip on other better time travel movies in your movie to make it funny sucks, because if you did it better, then I'd shut up and go, that was a great joke. But you fucking blew it. And so it's not this great joke. It's
what's your big criticism of the way they handle time travel in Endgame?
It is the same.
I've heard a lot.
My criticism is the same criticism about Deadpool 2. It's about stakes. See, time travel is not a device. For me, time travel is not a device to get out of shit. It's a really great premise to get stuck into something, to tell a great story. So I like Back to the Future. Yeah, the time travel's cool, but it's the human element that I like. Meeting your parents, this and that, trying to get back in time, all this stuff. The human stuff. The time travel itself is just literally a vehicle to get to the past.
Sure.
Endgame tries to church it up, because Back to the Future's time travel is you get in this car, you go at 8 miles per hour, you appear in the exact same spot you were, just in the past.
Yeah.
Endgame talks about all this other bullshit, this other science, this other crap. Marvel movies are basic, black and white at the end of the day, so why try to muddle it with science that your world's fake anyway? Don't try to bring real science into it to elevate it.
I will say that's my only problem with the way they do time travel in Endgame is that they spend a little too much time for a fantasy movie making it about the science of the time travel. If you're a fantasy movie, I don't care about the science. It's like Back to the Future is a perfect example. Make your rules and stick to them. I don't care what they are or if they make any sense at all. Just tell me what your rules are and then follow your own rules. That's it. The problem and the thing is, for the most part, Endgame does that. The places where they fuck it up are in little ways because they bothered to over-explain or make a big deal about why this is one way or that's one way or that's one way. So it's a big deal here, but then, okay, well, why didn't that thing trigger the same event or whatever? You have a couple inconsistencies like that, which wouldn't matter in a fantasy movie if you didn't have parts. I think they got ahead of themselves because that worked in Doctor Strange. But Doctor Strange
is a fantasy movie
that is about time, but like time travel. Time is a key part of that movie. So a huge core part of the premise is going to be figuring out how your time shit works.
And I think too with Doctor Strange,
and also it's been done for you in the comics already,
but mysticism and all that goes together, and it's
not science time travel, it's mystical time travel.
And one thing too, this is how I'm going to formulate my argument against Endgame too. Every Avengers movie has your obligatory Tony Stark, Bruce Banner science talk scene, even Endgame.
Sure,
but they kind of threw it out the window when the whole premise, all those other movies were within reason. I understand, the Ultron robots are crazy and far-fetched.
But the thing is, those conversations aren't supposed to really mean anything to us. It's supposed to be this fun. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. It's supposed to be a fun back and forth, and we get at the end of it that they're two nerds who nerded out together about something about gamma rays.
And that's one of the best parts about Iron Man 3 is the entire thing is him telling him a story. That's maybe not the best post-credit sequence in terms of content, what it brings to the universe, but for a payoff joke, that's my favorite one. Because it's ha! And then that's all it is. Because also, too, it comes after the first Avengers where we just came.
Exactly.
We need to recover.
Yep.
I don't think you could have had, the one at the end of Winter Soldier, when you see Scarlet Witch and you see they're, putting that at the end of that movie would have been too much.
Yeah.
You needed that.
You need a lighthearted,
rest.
Fun. I agree.
But the thing is, though, they spend all this time talking about science. All these movies are based on science. Vibranium, this, all this crap. And then it's, Wakanda is nothing but science.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, magic and science, where I come from, they're one and the same. Technology. They spent the entire 20 movies building up where science with fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Then they become a time travel movie where it's not science. Time travel is not science in their world. It's been magic and other things. And Thor, where I come, they're one and the same. But you don't even tell a good linear story. Outside of it, being contradictory to what they're telling, like the way they do it.
It's not a good culmination of the world they built. No. You're building a world where you're building a bridge between magic and science. You've done that consistently, but your time travel is literally all science. 100% pure, not really logical science.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. But that's my only criticism is, and that's the same criticism I have a lot of elements of the Star Wars sequels. Just because you're in space doesn't make you a science fiction. You are not science. Stop being science.
Also, too, just because you're in space, we're not asking like everything to be slow and boring, but there are some moments where it's like, believe it. When he fucking skids the X-Wing in outer space in The Last Jedi, that's one of those like reason-breaking moments. Fucking sparks and space. You know what? Here's the thing to Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams and Zack Snyder. If it looks cool, don't do it if you're those three people. Exactly. You can't tell a good story around it.
Exactly. If you think it looks cool, don't do it. Because you'll get distracted in that and you'll take a dump all over the rest of the story to make your pretty little moment
happen. I ever met Zack Snyder, that's what my advice, or not even advice, just say, hey, Zack Snyder, nice to meet you. Piece of advice. If it looks cool to you on film, never do it because you can't make a good story with it.
Damn straight.
And I only mean that to you. Like, not everybody.
That's not a rule for everyone.
Just you.
There are some people where it's like, if it looks cool, build your fucking movie around it. Other people, George Lucas is someone where if George Lucas came up with an image, it was like this weird something never seen before, and was like, that's really great. What can I do with this? I'd be like, take it and run, George. Because his shit is not, it's not about people and humans. He's always going to start there. He'll throw in your, farm boy and your relatable characters and shit later. He's someone, you got a weird, strange concept for a building, a world, a person, a race, or whatever. You fucking take it and run.
The reason why I wouldn't be excited for that, and then just makes point go on. Anyone can talk about the rest of the show. Lucas, that made Star Wars, the original Star Wars, is a student of Joseph Campbell. Much like Raiders of the Lost Ark is a reflection of old serials, much like Star Wars is a reflection of old serials. When you get to that second movie in Star Wars and Indiana Jones, they're their own identities. Mm-hmm. They're built off their own shit. George Lucas isn't a student of Joseph Campbell anymore. Therefore, he doesn't understand that. He became it's George Lucas's way. He created it. He did it. He either lost or doesn't use what he learned from Campbell in creating his worlds anymore. Therefore, that we're the fucking, like, you pull us out by our hearts and put us on screen.
That's fair. I think George Lucas in his prime then.
Oh, fair enough.
Someone who, that's more what I mean. No, Lucas now is retired, so whatever. But and yes, the thing is, George Lucas, who he became is not the filmmaker, and that's the case of so many of these filmmakers that started around the same time, for better or worse. In some of the ways, just like things we talked about, like who Martin Scorsese became as someone who's like the guy, the standard, the most, like, he, the way you shoot a mob movie down to this, because that's one of the things he brings to the table. He brought to the table with the mob movies too, that we haven't even talked about, in all of our chats about him and whatnot, is he didn't just bring the story. He reinvented how to shoot for this, the way he shot, with the way he used light, the way he used his angles, the way he used everything. That is now the standard. That's considered, if you shoot a movie, when you watch a Martian movie, it looks as by the book as it could possibly be. And it is. Everything he makes, everything he's made, in the 90s forward and whatnot is as by the book as it could possibly be. And then you go back and remember that back in the 70s, he wrote that book. And that's what's so interesting about these people. Spielberg is similar. Spielberg created the movies to us, created the first blockbuster. He invented the concept of a blockbuster, of a movie that was so widely appealing that it people queued up before even seeing it. Oh yeah,
but I'm dying to test it on this TV. We're doing it after this.
And so he invented this concept. He is that guy. He is one of the most immortal filmmakers of all time, who's made some of the all-time greatest movies, family classics,
classics, Indiana Jones, classics, Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan,
favorites for all ages. Guarantee you, you pull 100 people, any random poll of 100 people, you'll find one person whose favorite movie is Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah, he's the most prolific director ever. And people go, so and so. Citizen Kane, Orson Welles and stuff. I get that, but that's it. That's the one fucking
Steven Spielberg is 100% the most iconic. I think the most iconic ever of all time.
If anybody wants to say like John Capra or Ford or that Frank Capra, John Ford, no guys, because everybody, like you said, I'd even make you a bet. I would guarantee you we can go to every apartment in this complex and everybody knows a Steven Spielberg movie if you just say, what's a Spielberg movie?
Name me a Spielberg movie.
Even the little kids, if you go, like a kid would know one. Even if they don't know his name, they'll know E.T.
You'll say, hey, name me some of your favorite kids movies ever made. Or just name me some of the, what do you think some of the, like from what your parents or adults, what are some of the best kids movies ever made? They're going to pull out a Spielberg movie.
And hell, you could cheat if you wanted to and say like a Goonies because he produced it. But if you want to do straight directing.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading that a little bit.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying about that, though, again, you go back to the 70s and Spielberg, look at Jaws. Jaws was supposed to be a Christmas release because there was no such thing as a summer release. That happened because of budget issues and filming and shooting issues. So meanwhile, you have this young director shitting his pants going, this fucking shark doesn't work. This movie doesn't work. I think a fucking shark attack movie. It's not even coming out of Christmas. Coming out the deadest time for cinema. No one is ever going to see this. Meanwhile, he is the reason why there are hundreds of movies about sharks now.
Too many.
And it's just crazy. Like literally that. Like we are inundated with shark movies.
Can you think of another genre where the film that invented the genre has no one's ever come close to being as like decent as it? Because no shark movie is as good as Jaws. I hate sharks. I hate sharks. I don't like them. I'm gonna get eaten by a shark. But I'll even say like I've seen a ton of them.
Mm-hmm.
Jaws is always gonna be the best. The Jaws sequels are a joke. Deep Blue Seas, whatever.
There have been some solid ones. Some ones that people like. Deep Blue Sea people liked. Open Water people liked.
Yeah, but are they ever going to be in a conversation like Jaws?
No,
because
never will be.
Because you may have 2001: A Space Odyssey, but you also have Planet of the Apes in the same conversation, and the original Star Wars, and certain things like nothing. But I'll say like nothing in, or if you even go like the adventure movie with Raiders of the Lost Ark, you can do other action adventure movies.
Yeah.
Nothing. No shark movies even. That's a respectable film. Everything else is schlocky shit, including Jaws 2, 3, and The Revenge.
Because that was okay. Well, the obvious answer that's false. Outside of its own films, has any? I know the answer is yes. I'm just trying to think of what it would be. What would be the next most iconic
shark film?
Alien one. I'm thinking the movie Alien because that's a similar thing where it's like same time we were doing whatnot, but that was that was the thing that made the scary alien.
Okay,
It blended the alien and the monster movie and made it a mainstream. So gave a mainstream appeal.
To be fair, it goes Dark Star first because that's like the proto Alien, same guys, and John Carpenter, like real big names. They did it, and it was a student film that got a lot of hype and got a theatrical release. So Dark Star beats Alien, but it's whatever. But and then Alien comes out, and Alien does define it.
It defines the genre. That's what it defines the genre.
The thing is, though, are you asking me what Alien films are like a haunted house in space? Or are you talking about other iconic Alien films?
Because what Alien is specifically, it's a monster movie in space.
Okay,
right.
So then you have
that's a specific genre that's different from any other space movie with aliens and whatnot. I've actually never seen
it. Not as good as Alien. Not technically an Alien movie. You said a scary movie in space.
Yeah, so that would be in the conversation.
It's so gory they had to cut it out, and they lost the footage, and it can never be repaired because it was destroyed and it's only on video.
But I'm just trying to think if you go to that because there are better space movies than Alien. There are better, and all that stuff. But I'm just thinking of
better Alien like. That type
but I'm just trying to think of something that's the monster movie in space.
Okay, because
that actually does the story or the creature better outside of Aliens, of course.
But I didn't consider that a space film because most of it takes LV-327 or whatever the fucking
there's
planet.
very little actual space or even on a spaceship.
Yeah, Star Wars has more space. Than all these ones, but because you put the caveat of taking place in outer space.
I'll accept sci-fi. I'll accept Alien. A monster movie, an Alien monster movie
is better than Alien. This is a debate I think we could have a good debate because you will argue Ridley Scott and I'll argue John Carpenter, and I think they're the same caliber of dude across the board. One had a much bigger career financially because he had success after success. Another guy started out big career, had The Thing is really what hurt him. He even says it himself because it comes out a week after E.T. So it's a flop. Universal looks at him a certain way. He goes to Christine and other movies, and they're all considered great, and he's okay now. But he had a string of Hollywood didn't trust him, so he had to make it on his own.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott, I don't know his entire filmography.
The Duelist was his first one, and that was, I think it was a critical success. I don't know if it was, but it was a small. Let's see. Duelist.
Thank you, Eric. He does have Event Horizon. Dixon Sider says Event Horizon.
Predator. There's another one, but that's obviously because it's Alien. And the thing is, Predator was never trying to be. It was never trying to be a film. The way the Alien was, if that makes sense, So I think
I don't know if I would say Alien's trying to be a film though. I think Alien's by our standard that we made. No, I'm not saying it's not. But
that is not necessarily trying to be like.
I think it fell into it because I loved the making of that movie, and I've only seen the movie once. But
I think, let's put it this way, not necessarily that, but I do think, let's say, I think the people making Predator realized they were making a fun action movie, that they weren't concerned with the acting and the lines and the story and they were concerned with how good is the action going to be, how much fun is it going to be. They're not looking to make
Arnold Schwarzenegger too.
Exactly.
In 1987, what Arnold
exactly.
Schwarzenegger
We're writing an
is.
Arnold movie. We're writing a movie. Not necessarily.
I don't know. No. Oh, sorry. That's Van Damme was in that originally, right? He was the alien. They filmed it. He plays a little orange. The original Predator's a little orange bug, and Van Damme's in the suit.
Wow.
But it looked so bad, so they redid it. So a guy on an airplane, Stan Winston. The story is he was on this plane, and by the time he landed, the mandibles and all that shit, they redid it, and then it's
that's crazy.
The reason I didn't think of Predator, though, for your question, first off, doesn't take place in space. Not scary. It's more of like an edgy action movie.
I'd give it thriller action. I'd say thriller action. It does have
the closest thing I would say prior to Alien versus Predator, the only crossover is that they were both at Fox because they're Predator's my favorite Schwarzenegger film. It's one of my favorite movies ever. It's nothing like Alien.
While I'll say they go in the same category, though they're not similar at all. But why I say they go in the same category is it's your same premise of your main characters are trapped somewhere and the alien monster is killing you. And
I don't think Predator is because they're going to hunt it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It crash landed there, and they go. The thing is, though, the reason why I say it is yes, but no, because the premise is different, but it becomes the same thing. No,
because the reason I disagree is because Ash on the ship, the whole premise that we don't is that
they're trying to collect
it. They're trying to collect it. The government's trying to.
You're right. I would argue the later Predator movies are more so the ones, and even
I agree with that.
Yeah,
100%.
Because then there was the more recent, the newer one where they went to their planet and all that shit.
Or the Predator.
The Predator where they had the big, they introduced the idea, the big one and the little one.
Was that the one with Eric Foreman, or was it the one with Adrian Brody? Is it the same movie?
Don't remember.
So folks in the chat.
Anyway, that one actually wasn't that bad though, because it was they went to their planet, and that was the whole cool thing was they ended up. They found out the lesser predators and the bigger predators, and that worked for that movie. That got really retarded when they tried to bring that back in. When they tried to bring it in the next
Predator
one.
Predator is a franchise that only one movie's good.
Yeah,
Dion loves Predator too. You ever seen it?
Not all the way through.
I don't like it. I don't think it's as good because it's a suburban or it's a urban setting.
Yeah.
It's cooler when he's hiding out in not the urban jungle, but the real jungle.
But that's part of it too, and I think that's also why where AVP is the second one. I know a lot of people don't like the first one. I like the first one. I think the first one's a lot of fun. I think it's a fuck ton of fun.
By the way, Shadzar, dude, not only do I think that Predator is better than Conan, most Arnold movies, I don't like Conan the Barbarian that much. If I'm being completely honest, though, I'm going to rank shit like both the first Terminators above Conan, the Predator, True Lies, stuff like that. Conan the Barbarian falls above shit like any of the Terminator sequels post 2 because Arnold Schwarzenegger's in them. But I can't think of I like Eraser, End of Days, Collateral Damage, not more. I hate Junior and I don't like Twins. So Conan is better than Junior and Twins.
I've never seen it, so I actually don't have a comment on it.
Do you like barbarian films?
I didn't know all about it and stuff like that. I'm fine with that. I'd watch it, But
the first one is fun. The second one's the one that sucks. Sorry.
I've always wanted to watch it. But it's just I'll get around to it at some point. Read these couple of super chats we had rocking and rolling in here.
Sorry, I'm completely sober, folks. I'm just really. I had a great show tonight. I'm really jacked.
We're having a really good time. We're having a really fun night. We're kind of in our Thanksgiving break mindset. We bought our turkey today. Did most of our shopping today.
I got a stream tomorrow on Indiana Jones. I'm fucking excited.
We're gonna start picking time here in a second because we use a ton of fresh time for the turkey recipe.
Let's start that now.
So I was just say we'll start picking time here.
Why don't you read a couple of super chats? I'll start and then you pick up.
Yeah. So
I got it.
We can just put them all there. So Stratus Radio Blue says, "Happy pre-Thanksgiving. Have you guys seen the new Animaniacs? Trump, women empowerment, and gun control allegories. A far cry from Fernlovin." So, well, the thing I'll say about that is it's not surprising at all, and it's what I would expect because Animaniacs was always a show that was full of allegory and pop culture commentary, and
would
that's
you really say allegory?
Pop culture commentary. I'll say pop culture commentary. Allegory in the sense that the shows always had those, well, not quite allegory, but they were always very they had the moral sensibilities of the show were always rooted in the pop culture of the time, if that makes sense. It wasn't quite allegory because it wasn't trying to tell you some deeper message, but they had that really the childlike black and white morality that you always want in your children's stuff, rooted in pop culture in a way that made it feel more of the time, more temporal, more relevant. So unfortunately, I haven't seen it. I'm sure the quality of the writing on brand. Unfortunately, it's on brand. It's exactly where you'd expect it to go. And you just don't have writers who understand how to write that stuff intelligently anymore. Because you can absolutely, honestly, the Animaniacs should have a Trump in it. Bill Clinton was in the last one. He was in the last.
Here's where I'm going to fight or disagree. Only if they put him in the same role and treat him with the same thing.
Exactly.
Because the politics of the writers on the original Animaniacs didn't lead through. Just because Bill Clinton was on the show, here's the thing.
It wasn't political. He's
the fucking president at the time.
And that's why so that's what I'm saying. Donald Trump should show up. There should be I think he's no longer the president. Well, not anymore. I would say at the time in their first episode or whatever it is, have him in there. In exactly the same way. But you can't do that. But people can't do that. People can't handle that.
Yeah, no, not about handling. Will the writers be able?
No, they won't. That's what I'm saying. They can't handle it. Yeah. People can't. The writers can't handle it. The people watching can't handle it. Nobody can handle that shit. No one can handle being rational, reasonable. So if you're going to treat the Animaniacs with the pop culture of the time, unfortunately, that's the pop culture right now. It's stupid. It sucks. But if you're gonna, but that's what it is. The reality is too. You look at all these shows that have these things, Hollywood has always been left. Hollywood's messaging and politics in its movies have been left for, maybe not always, I couldn't trace it back. I haven't followed the politics of Hollywood, but certainly since the 60s, the 70s, the newer age of Hollywood.
I'd say 90s. With Ronald Reagan as president in the 1980s, you definitely had stuff more in line with Reaganomics, and
that's fair.
And in the 1980s, through Alex P. Keaton, the character Michael J. Fox played, you also had the Young Republican movement. So I disagree. I think it was more conservative in the 80s, and you had a swing back in the 90s.
Because the 60s and 70s were definitely very liberal.
Yeah, well, yes, but think of the 70s though. You had stuff like Dirty Harry and really popular High Doyle, the biggest shit. If you had to pick a side of the main guy characters, those action movies of the time, they were very much like
what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying more though is that the politics for the people in Hollywood have always been Democrats, left leaning politicians, that way. The sensibilities have shifted, yes, but when you look at movies that have allegory, political commentary, and stuff, the general train of that. And there are things that have persisted, like pro-America, before you had wokeness, you still had that subset in Hollywood of you had your
pro-humanity,
pro the American way, pro-traditional ways of, traditional masculinity, traditional this type of character, that type of character, this type of story,
Warner Brothers
and whatnot.
They're the edict why you can't say truth, justice, in the American way in Superman. Because if you go back and watch Superman Returns, you have truth, justice, and all that other stuff. Like they officially, because they say, oh, Superman's a worldwide protector. Mm-hmm. Fuck that. Superman's an American creation.
Because the whole thing was, back in the day, too, the American way, the whole idea of the American way is doing good. It used to be about being good, not just about waving my flag in your face, going America, and pissing on your lawn or your strawberries.
You got to start this. I don't even like doing this.
I was
joking with you. Now my hands smell spice.
So, but yeah. So the thing is it's not a surprise that all of a sudden everything in Hollywood is left. The thing that changed is not the sensibilities of the people making the things. It's what those sensibilities actually are, what left actually means. The definition of left changed.
I think a movie's intended goal, if it's trying to be widespread, is not to indoctrinate, to teach, whatever. It's to appeal to the most people, having universal themes.
Exactly.
That's why for 45 years we'll go on about Star Wars and Back to the Future and all these other movies, because it's a universal theme that everyone can feel and understand.
But that's also why you look at the time, that's part of why it wasn't a problem for Hollywood to be left back in the day, because when Hollywood was left, things were too much closer together, and there were things we still all agreed upon. There were basic human morality things we all agreed upon. Now, if I say murder is legal, murder is wrong, guarantee you, someone who hates me sees this video, they'll go find a reason to justify murder. But that's the world we live in. If Joe Biden takes the presidency tomorrow and says murder is evil, you will have diehard Trump supporters justifying murder and vice versa. If Trump's last words in office were cocaine is bad for you, you'd have Democrats running around touting the health benefits of cocaine. That's
then
just,
I would
that's
know
just
he really
the
was a liar because it was the 80s. He was a multi-millionaire.
fuck yeah.
I don't believe anybody with money in the 80s didn't do cocaine outside of Eddie.
Oh, I just said he would say cocaine is bad for you. I didn't say he would say he never did it. Because no one's
I bet you somewhere
just like
in history, Donald Trump did a line that went, "I feel so alive." It's funny how people.
I bet there's a point in history where Donald Trump, when he was at the height of The Apprentice, where he did a line, pointed up at the heavens, and said, "You're fired." I believe that.
That would be an amazing thing to witness live.
Is it wrong though that just for the joke, I really, really want someone to say "You're fired" to Trump when he leaves the White House?
You know where he got that phrase from, right?
Mm-mm.
He stole it from Vince, his real life friend, because Vince McMahon's been saying on TV for years before The Apprentice. So when you go, "You're fired," I go, that's not Donald Trump's catchphrase. He stole it from Vince, and it's "You're fired" every time. It's not "You're fired, get the hell out, pack your shit." It's "You're fired."
See, that would be hilarious then if Vince McMahon shows up on the White House lawn and does it, because then everybody wins, because all the liberals who are like, yeah, are like, he's fired, probably have no idea who Vince McMahon even is, or
his wife's on
what their relationship is. I did know that, or what their relationship is, but everyone who knows that they're friends knows the joke. So.
It's funny, I still think when I think of him, I think of WrestleMania, Home Alone 2. When I was a kid, I watched that made-for-TV movie about Donald Trump. That's the shit I think of as what he was as the pop culture figure. See, his board game, his book, all that shit.
This is perfect. Remember I told you about my shitty ex and how I wish we had just, I'd never, part of me is like, if we had just been coached in the blah, blah. It's like that. It's like, where you're like, I didn't need to be my president, or didn't, whatever you feel about our president. You're like, he was this great pop culture dude. Now you're the president and whatnot. I'm like, that's how I feel about that other guy.
Now I wonder,
perfect parallel.
Here's the thing I wonder though, where his place in pop culture will go. Ronald Reagan was a big actor, became governor, then president. But then he went away.
Yeah.
Most presidents seem to go away even after they don't win, like Jimmy Carter the second time. He just kind of went off and did his own thing. I wonder if he's going to come back in the mainstream. See, this is how you can talk about this shit, not even political. All I'm curious, will we see The Apprentice get picked up by a show?
I don't think he's...
Will what?
I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going to...
I don't either. I was just...
Oh, yeah.
What he's going to do.
What he's going to do.
Because... whatever you want to say about anything, the dude's been involved with a ton of different projects, successful or not, whatever. But my point is, there's something.
I honestly think he's gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes. So the latest talk right now is he's hates Fox News. So and there's actually been that's something that's been floated earlier before the election and stuff too, of him toying with the idea of starting his own news channel out there. That's something I could see him doing easily. TNN, Trump News Network. That's making him do easily. Funny. And I could also, I would not be surprised if Trump runs again in 2024, not with the intention of winning or becoming president again, just because he likes to run. He likes the campaigns. That's been well documented. His favorite fucking part is the campaigning, the rallies, the crowds. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes through 4 years of being like, it's not fun not being the center of attention anymore. Let me have a presidential campaign. I don't really want to be president again, but I just want to have a presidential campaign.
So and the year 2000 again, where... because you remember as a kid, it was always like, hey, I'm going to run for president. It's on record. And as a kid, I'm like, the guy from TV? Okay. I didn't know who Ronald Reagan was. I didn't know he was the actor. I knew the line. Yeah. Ronald Reagan, the actor? 5-year-old Jeff didn't know what Ronald Reagan looked like. Why would you? Why would a 5-year-old without the internet know what Ronald Reagan looked like? He had just left the office.
Of course. But yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Note to self, next year buy one of those time things.
One of those little things. Now, I am curious. This is something that I would love to know the answer to that I don't know if we will or not, is when all is said and done, you have somebody with a 2 different legacies.
Oh, Pancake.
Splash. I think Splash just knocked something off of there.
Oh, by mistake?
Probably. It's always by mistake.
He never knocks shit off intentionally.
No,
he's too dumb to be malicious.
It's true.
I wonder if they hate the smell or if it reminds them of catnip in there.
We'll find out.
I'll just pet them later.
We'll find out. This will be their first Thanksgiving. Everyone's, all the cats, because with me anyway.
Shit, Pancake's second for being alive.
Second, second being alive. And last year they would have spent it with what they would have done whenever Kelly did. So I think she did give them turkey though. She did tell me that.
Oh,
and
they fell asleep afterwards.
And probably.
But Pancakes at the door. That's why.
Oh, okay. Noises.
Ooh,
saw him.
I should have done this on my show. Never mind.
What?
Back to the Future figures. I'm so excited to look at them.
That's gonna be cool. If you want to pull them out, you can pull them out on my show. It's not. I know if you want to save it for yours, that's fine. But you're not saving them until next week.
I wasn't gonna say. I just didn't want to like
pull them out.
Kill the mood of the show.
Right. Let me read these super chats then. And I meant to give everyone a Pancake update because someone was asking. That's important.
How about this? Do you want to bring him for the update?
Sure, that'll be perfect.
And then
you can grab your action figures at the same time.
Let me go get him.
So Dix Insider says, tell Dion that the wrong gift was shipped, so I don't think it will be there before Christmas. It was going to be 20% cooler too. Aw.
Hey, Dix Insider, thanks for everything, man. And you know what? I'll see Dion. He'll get it. He's a big boy. He can handle it. You know what, though? Dix Insider, you're perfectly on brand. It's like when Dion bought his Halloween costume and it came the day afterwards. So it's perfect. You know, you give Dion a gift for his birthday, make sure it shows up around Christmas.
Also, if you ever buy Dion something for his home, make sure it doesn't fit through the front door.
Make sure it's open. I love you.
Oh, goodness. We got a couple more here. We got, thank you, Anthony Shelley, for the super chat. Vote me for me as president. I have the best bald spot. You got to see, he's got a new thumbnail. Now, is this a shaving accident, Anthony, or is this a Photoshop job? Another Photoshop job? we need to know. The world needs to know.
Let me give you the babe.
Babe. So you guys want your update on the babe? First of all, if you were just joining us, make sure you press the like button if you haven't already. I've not been good about reminding you to guys do that tonight. So I apologize.
There you go, Ship Pancake.
So if you guys want to know, here's the babe. Here he is. Here's Ship Pancakes. We still got his little cone. He's still got his funny eye. I talked to the vet today. I'm picking up some an anti-inflammatory for him tomorrow to try to help with the eye. And we're just in a wait and see. So everything else is going great. Healing-wise, he despises the cone. Earlier today, he would not. This morning, I fed him breakfast. I take the cone off to let him eat and groom himself and all that stuff. And then I have to put it back on him so he doesn't scratch the ear. And he was so mad at me for putting it back on him. I went to give him treats to try to make up for it. He just stared at me. I offered it to him. He wouldn't take them. I put him on the floor. Right off the floor, no problem.
Oh.
Would not take them from me. He can sniff it.
Oh, okay, I was going to go and eat it.
He can sniff. You sniff at the time. Smell like catnip to you. You want to nibble on some? Oh, you can't because it's for Thanksgiving.
You can have it then.
You can have some on Thanksgiving.
Oh, so now we have Ship Pancake in frame. We should teach Ship Pancake about the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah. Well, you want to hear about Papa's favorite movie, Ship Pancake? What's this? What's that, Papa? Looks like a person. It's wearing a funny vest. This doesn't smell as good as the time.
What happened, kid? You jumped ship? So you hear just random thing about this. So the guy that does all the sculpting work is really prevalent on social media. His name's like Trevor something. Long story short, I was going through my old computer. Trevor Grove is his name, I believe. 10 years ago, he pitched this thing and he sculpted the Michael J. Fox head for the toy as like just for whatever for fun. And then the same guy got the official job on the toy.
Nice.
I gotta say, the sculpt he did both times was equally good. It's like the paint that makes this figure but whoever sculpted, well, like I said, Trevor Grove, he's fantastic. Like, okay, we have Biff. Look how good Biff's face. I mean, that looks like Biff.
That looks like Biff.
That looks really like Biff. That giant fucking head.
What are you looking at? Who's Biff, Papa?
What are you looking at, butthead?
Who's Biff?
And then we have Marty.
Who's Marty?
McFly.
Who's Marty McFly?
Greatest character from 1985's Back to the Future.
Well, what's Back to the Future?
Best movie ever made, Pancake.
What's it about?
Time traveling.
Time traveling?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means you can go back in time to the 50s.
What's the 50s?
It was a decade where people thought everything was nice, but it was really bad.
Oh, were you alive?
Hell no.
Oh.
I wasn't even alive when this movie came out, Pancake.
Why was it bad?
The 50s?
Yeah.
Well, it seemed great economically, but it was a time of racism, Korean wars, and bad food.
Bad food?
Betty Page. Well, Betty Page was awesome, so that's a different story.
Oh. Well, at least the 50s had some nice things.
Yeah, like Elvis. And
well, that's good. Was he nice?
He was the king.
Oh. What was he the king of?
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll? That sounds like a really cool thing to be the king of.
Elvis is the coolest.
Who's the king now?
Well, king is dead.
Well, but then who's the king?
There is no king.
There's no king?
Elvis will always be the king. Like Michael Jackson's the king of pop.
Well, then who now?
Rivers Cuomo.
Oh, who's that?
A good man.
Pancake, we're going to do some re-education for you. You're getting a very biased perspective of
Good,
rock and roll.
good music. Well, Pancake, if you want to go to the best guitar player, it's Jimi Hendrix. So
Greg Kirby, Elvis was in his prime in the 50s. He was active in all through the 60s as well, but Elvis was in his prime in the 50s.
A lot of his movies were from the 50s too, right? Like Jailhouse Rock and
I think so.
All this fucking Elvis Goes to Hawaii 12 and all. You ever seen those movies?
I've never had.
They're
I know they
really
exist, but I've
funny.
never seen them.
Like, not in a good way. They're hokey as fuck. I love them though.
We gotta watch Bye Bye Birdie sometime. Because even though it's a musical, it's fun. First of all, it's Dick Van Dyke's in it. So
You sold me. Don't tell me more. I love Dick Van Dyke. Everything I've seen him in.
Perfect.
He's a celebrity. It's old as fuck. I'd love to meet before he dies. Because I didn't get to meet Stanley, didn't get to meet Adam West, even though I was in the same room with him and didn't fucking do the shit I should have. Long story short,
He is the reason why the new Mary Poppins movie is acceptable.
I refuse to watch it.
Because he plays the same character, but he doesn't have to age himself up anymore. It's brilliant. But he's still like, I remember he still like jumps on a desk or something, and like he's old, but this guy's still spry.
Yeah.
So,
Himself all those years.
oh yeah. So if you are interested in helping out with Pancake, because the one thing that their biggest source of concern right now, Pancake's trying to steal the time now.
My time. He wants to be a time traveler.
You want me to? You said to be a time traveler, so I'm trying to travel time. Here, you can have the twigs. You want to play with the twigs? Yeah, time twigs. So Pancake had an inflammatory ear polyp, which we did officially get our culture results and back on that. We weren't concerned it was gonna be anything worse, but it is not cancerous or anything. That is just a regular polyp, and very, very comforting. And did you see Anthony Shelley's bald spot now?
Oh God, is that how he got impreg?
I don't know. Maybe that's what happens when you get impreg. You get bald spots. I want to see if he answered
only
me.
Carol Baskin had a bald spot. Hey, we moved
Right.
it.
Sorry.
I don't apologize. I just didn't want to have an accident.
I'm just trying to see if Anthony Shelley followed that up or not. I don't see him in here again yet, but now I need to know because that's if it was a shaving accident or more CGI fuckery or Photoshop fuckery.
Hey, why do you want to smell the time? I'll let you smell it.
Thank you for the very generous super chat, Rosetta. She says, in honor of your birthday and my hubbies as well. Birthday buddies. Love you guys so much. Wish I could be there to celebrate with you. Have fun Saturday.
Pancake does not like time.
No.
He took a bite. I'm going to pull this off because I'm not putting that in my mouth. But he took a bite, he chewed, he goes,
no, that's not catnip. I don't like it at all.
No, buddy.
Papa, why would you let me eat that? It's disgusting.
It's food.
It's disgusting.
Doesn't mean it's not. If it's not bad for you, Pancake, I'll probably let you eat it.
But what if but how is that food? It's disgusting.
It's seasoning. It's spices. It goes in food that you like turkey.
Oh, I like turkey. I do like turkey.
Yeah, it's in your breakfast.
It's eating now.
Oh, it's just my shirt he's looking on.
Oh no, he was biting the cable there. You hungry little boy? I think someone's hungry.
So Thanksgiving. Let's talk about it.
Right.
Oh, sorry, you had more super chats.
Super chats. That's all. And the last thing I was gonna do. Rosetta says, even though you guys are completely insane, here is to birthday loving Jesse. I am so tempted to point out you are joining me in the old woman's club. That's true. Turning 30 this year, guys. Turning 30 on Saturday. So I'll do a stream sometime after my birthday. You won't hear from me between now. This is the last time you'll hear from me before I turn 30. So because we will not be, obviously Thursday is Thanksgiving Thursday for us. We'll be taking off the matriarchy tomorrow for the holiday and all that stuff. We'll be back next week. Been as usual. Somebody's got the munchies, huh? Someone's got the money. I'll take this off for a little bit since we're gonna hang out here in the bed. He's just came over here looking. Please tell me you didn't just shake stink on anything.
He didn't. Normally I feel stuff fly out. I didn't feel anything this time.
Good. So it'd be terrible if he shook stink in our time. I don't see anything. So that might have been a droplet there, but I don't think so. Okay. I ain't embarrassed. I'm turning 30 on Saturday. Thrilled to do it. If you guys want to give me a birthday present, even $10 to Lando and Pancake was Pancake's GoFundMe now because Lando's better and he's still not. If you want to give me any birthday present at all, if you can throw a couple bucks.
Wow, Pancake, thank you.
Hi, buddy. If you're gonna walk away though, I gotta put the cone back on. Pancake is becoming harder to distinguish from the other cats when his cone is off because he's getting fat.
I like that. Actually, I don't, because it's kind of taken away from his like look.
It doesn't charm.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me that he's finally gaining weight. I'm so used to him looking a certain way.
It's just weird.
So little.
He's so bitty.
Because he's like, you weigh nothing, and now he weighs something, and it's just like, okay.
It's so weird.
You think he likes it? Well, he doesn't even know.
Any hoozle. So, Greg Kirby, thank you. Greg Kirby says press 1 for birthday. So if you guys want to drop some ones for the birthday, I will appreciate it. That's sweet. James Decker says, wait 10 years to see how you feel. I just turned 40 this year. Well, I'll check back in a decade and let you guys know. Rosetta says, I somehow need to talk to you either on a stream or call. I can't not celebrate a bit with you, my girly. Of course. Well, you were so sweet to you're always so sweet to think of me and remember me and all that stuff. And
didn't you call me on my birthday? Thanks, Rosetta. You really are nice.
I was about to say, that was the next thing I was going to say, is you were so sweet to call Jeff on his, and you're just a doll.
It was so funny too, because we were exactly where we were hanging out with her at the pier.
Yeah. No, that was so weird. It was so crazy. Yeah. I'll let you know, because I should be available for a phone call at some point that day. Oh, I was gonna
on your birthday?
Yeah.
No. You gotta call your family and shit. Yeah.
Yes. The thing is, I was gonna touch base with you about our original game plan. I was actually thinking about
moving it up a day.
Yeah, we'll see.
Fine. We're done. That's all it says.
We'll see. I wanted to touch base on our game plan. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm completely cool with even addressing or discussing it later, but I know what you're talking
about. But yeah, we'll make sure we chat. But thank you. You're such a doll. And but yeah, so like I said, I posted that GoFundMe in the GoFundMe in the chat if you want to do anything for my birthday, even $10 to the GoFundMe. Because the big thing right now is these inflammatory ear polyps. I'm sorry, you're a heinous bitch. I hate you. See what she said. She said, "Don't call me sweet. You'll ruin my reputation." Well, you're a terrible, awful woman, but you're a good friend. You can't hide that no matter how much you try.
So we're done, right?
So with the time, I wish.
Yeah. Your dad needed to invent a better method. He had the little thing. That
was just something mom and I picked up at a store that we thought would be cool to use for the time.
Oh, I thought he came up with something.
No, we picked up at a store to be like, hey, this might help with the time, and he was like, it helps, but it still needs work.
I'm looking forward to.
Pancake, you just started licking my shirt. Look at you. Hi, little buddy. Are you so extra hungry all the time?
Pancake, let me tell you something, buddy. There's gonna be so much food in this house. You're going to be so full over the next couple of days.
That's right. Oh, you're getting all the snacks. All the snacks. So with things like the stuffing, like my grandma's stuffing and whatnot, even though there's onions in it, as long as you don't give them the stuff with the onion pieces, that amount, like the onion flavor won't hurt. It won't bother them that much. So you can get little pieces of the meat and stuff from the stuffings. Matt, when was your birthday? I mean, obviously 2020 and whatnot. No, Matt Deckard. He said we didn't even karaoke on my birthday. Next year, Matt, when the world isn't broken, hit me up when we're getting close to your birthday, and we'll do a karaoke night for your birthday. That'll be tight. Yes. So, he asked the question. My Twitter is exploding right now. At what point is it viral? Well, Matt, what is your Twitter handle? Let's go find out. I'm curious as to why it is. Good things or bad things? Are you embroiled? Are you embroiled in controversy, or did something you do or say get propagated in a positive way? Sorry. I just forgot I keep doing this at us. I can't let you, because I told her I can't let you go to the Whole Foods. She said I wasn't going to go, but why? And now I didn't respond. So she's like, bitch, why? Because I can't let you get addicted to these. And I'm sending her a picture of the bubbles, the pricier ones that we like. They're too expensive, but it's too late for us.
What do you like more, the watermelon or the peach?
It's hard. They're both really good. They're both such a great balance. Because, this one's so, Walter forward with a nice hint of mint. Mm-hmm. The other one's, peach forward with a nice, tea to balance it. This one's so refreshing and so good, and I'm drinking it right now, so it's hard not to say this one, but at the same time, like every craving I've had for peach tea, but I don't drink a lot of sugary drinks anymore, has been satisfied by that other one. Like, and I used to love peach tea. Like Snapple peach tea is my shit.
If we ever go to a restaurant called Cheddar's,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask that you pull back on your sweet drink rule because they make a fresh peach tea for you at the bar.
Oh, I don't.
And it's really good.
I'll go for it. I don't have a law against it, especially at restaurants. But I just,
because it's got pieces of peaches in it. So,
dude, you used to be drinking lemonade and shit at restaurants. I'm not like crazy about anything. I'm like, I don't drink any sugary beverage. You see me drink soda and shit. I just don't have any regular sugary drinks that I keep in my rotation anymore.
Nor do I. I haven't for a long time.
For years.
Grandma was cute though because she loved their peach tea. It was like $4 for one or $3. So she would justify it by drinking as many teas as it was the dollar value. So she's like, I'm only paying $1 for each one.
There you go.
So we would go to Ruby Tuesdays and they had these blackberry teas and they're like $6 each, but they came in these like long cups and they had blackberries and all this shit. And they loved them. They're delicious. I had one.
Oh, yeah.
But like,
she'd have to get 6.
Yeah, she would drink that. My grandma would be like, I gotta pee all day. This is because she was slightly younger, so it was like a different situation. So she could still
hop around, get there easily, but
and by slightly younger folks, I mean my grandma was like 85 at the time.
So she still had her old lady bladder. She could just
this is post college graduation.
Pop around a little more easily to get to
up until last year, she still drove. Like up until she died, she drove. Yeah. So like, that lady was always on it.
That's great. I think it's bothering my grandma that she's not anymore. It's good she needed to stop, but at the same time, I understand how tough it is.
If my grandma was still alive, what I would do, I'd say, Grandma, do me a favor, give this lady a call.
Aw, that would have been great. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, oh well. At least you got to beat her.
I know, I'm really glad that I did. I was really worried, when all that stuff was happening then and all that I wasn't that I was never going to.
So, well, you did.
She was really important.
Got to see her a couple times.
You did. It was really nice.
That was nice. Thanksgiving though, you got the super chat shit.
Mm-hmm. I think I had another one here. No, all right. Rosetta says, "I hope to get to stream with you sometime next month for my birthday." Yes, I am. Shameless as fuck, dearie. You are, and that's why we love you. But yeah, I'll take your method then, since you're using that one. For sure, of course. You just hit me up. Just let me know because we will be where we are. Provided we are legally able to do so, we will be traveling next month. So just let me know because I will, for your birthday, I will figure it out. Just made me, ducking off in a room on my phone for a shorter stint because I will be at the mercy of others, other wonderful, wonderful people who are going to make me do terrible, terrible things.
I'm just reliving at Matt Decker. My grandma never used the bathroom. Never.
Who?
My grandma never left the bathroom at the end.
So, January 4th. Okay, so Matt, we may have to do a belated 2021 birthday for you then, since we'll probably still be fucked by January. And then I probably just out of town for this one because January we're traveling so much this year. Oh, yeah. But next year then. So now I want to know. Okay, so what is your Twitter handle? Okay, fact checker and anonymous source. Okay, that's where it's blowing up from. Okay, now I want to know. Now I want to see what's going on here with this. I'm always curious when people are. I mean, it's our job to study virality. It's always interesting research for me to see what's going on. Matt Deckard. Okay, how do I not follow you yet?
Change it.
Matt Deckard, fact checker and anonymous source. Nice. So.
Happy early birthday, Matt. From all of us at WCBS.
So, Matt, was there a particular tweet that was taking off, or are you just getting in the momentum groove now? But, yes. 2 weeks to slow the spread. Yes. Not a lot of time. Yeah. All right. So, where were we? Where was I? Oh, yeah. Posted the GoFundMe. So, if you want to do anything for my birthday, a couple bucks to the GoFundMe. Should pin that on my Twitter. I should put that up and be like, hey, my birthday. So, I want to do this for that. Do this for my birthday. That's how we'll get Pancake's next surgery paid for. Which we're hoping isn't going to exist. However, things I've read said that if you don't get all of the entire polyp, the risk of regrowth is up to 80%. Like there's an 80% chance that it'll regrow and we'll have to do this more invasive surgery. The flip of that is, knowing that the vet got as absolute much as he possibly could going in there, just some of why we've got all this, eye inflammation and stuff going on. But we just don't know. There's just no way of knowing without doing another whole thing to go in and look and stuff, because everything's deep in the ear canal. So without sedating him and going and looking and all that, we just don't know and won't know for a while.
The ear C anal?
That whether or not the polyp's coming back or not. That's hilarious. Sorry, I was reading strip wares. Anyway, so yes. So we just won't know. So if it does grow back, $5,000+ surgery. Jessie has a heart attack over her kitty cat for hours and hours and hours at a time until he's back in my arms. All that fun stuff that we don't want to do again. And Pancake has to go back into cone. It'd be terrible. The worst thing that's ever happened to me. Little chubby boy. And all that stuff. So
Chub Pancake.
Matt, yes, Kitty has ear infection issues. Well, it was an ear polyp that was removed. But so if it grows back, it'll be this whole big deal. Anyway, so we're hoping that doesn't happen. But I obviously need to be prepared for the reality that may. That there is we're realistically looking at probably like a 50-50 chance of that happening at this point. And your pile. Like this username. Your biological female caregiver.
Yeah. When's Thanksgiving?
Your mom.
Yeah.
I just like that name. But yes. So our Thanksgiving is going to be tight because we have a 25-pound turkey.
That's true. It's going to be a fat Thanksgiving.
If you guys have any fun Thanksgiving traditions? Oh, because I promised you all a Scream Fest about Sia. So.
Did you though?
I did. Well,
I
promise on the other stream. I do want to get into that, and I will. But
I think we should take a break from this.
From the time.
Because we're getting too lost in it. We're getting a lot of dead air.
Lost in the time. We're getting lost in time?
Yeah.
Fair enough. And I do want you back. For my...
Now, this would be cool to do while we're eating dinner and watching Jaws.
Oh, yeah. So. Don't worry, your mom. I'm sorry, your biological female caregiver. Thanksgiving's canceled, so you don't have to worry about it. It's canceled across all of America. So it's definitely canceled in Germany.
What would one give thanks for in Germany in 2021?
Not sure.
Angela Merkel's there. I don't know anything else about the country right now. I don't follow European politics. Why the fuck would I? I even follow American politics.
You probably follow American politics.
Wouldn't you be really upset if I was really up on French politics?
No, I would think it was hilarious.
It's I'm fucking Marco this and this and that. And all I knew every detail and talking about their. You're just why are you so obsessed with French politics? Because I fucking am. You don't understand the importance. Wouldn't that be weird?
Isn't his name Macron?
What?
Macron. I don't know. I think it's hilarious. You're like, what am I supposed to do French politics? Didn't even get the president's name.
Dude, who was the last guy of France?
I don't remember.
Sarkozy.
Yeah.
That's the only name I really know.
I forgot about him until you said it just
The only reason I remember was because he was in that scandal or whatever. And I
wasn't Nikolai Sarkozy too, like a super fucking
Russian
sounding name is the fucking prime minister for
real quick.
Pretty sure it was
Nikolai
Sarkozy. I don't know I don't have to remember what it was. It was just a really weird, it did not a French sounding name.
It was a cool name though.
It was. I actually did like that name.
I spelled it wrong. Nicolas Sarkozy. I was
going to say K. Most of the times, hard K's with European names.
Former president of France. Not a handsome man.
Nicolas Sarkozy.
Look at that ear.
See, that's how do you even say Nicolas Sarkozy with a French accent?
He looks like Alex Winter in a French accent.
Do you ever see that, where some people just look like their accents sometimes? Or I think we're watching, when you just had, when you put on, what was it? When you put on Hurricane Heist? And that guy looked like the guy who looked like Slavic Shane Madej.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah.
We should finish that movie.
I'd like to actually. I didn't really pay attention because I was doing something else or whatever. When you put it.
I thought you
I'd like
hated
to-
it. That's why you were paying attention.
Oh no, I think I was just doing something. I think it was in the middle of something else.
It's a dumb movie, but it's funny.
Oh, I love stuff like that though. That's the kind of movie I would. I'm always down.
Twister.
I'm always down to watch. But I think I might have was trying to still write or something like that at the time. Whatever it was, I was trying to do something else.
Was it last night?
It was a couple nights ago, I think.
Because last night, I think we had it on last night because it was after Survivor Series.
Oh,
so
maybe.
we were kind of like we had drank and ate pizza. We were just kind of meh.
Yeah, we were chilling. Wait, no, pizza wasn't yesterday. No, it's right. Yesterday was Monday.
Oh,
Jeff.
today's Tuesday. I'm thinking today's
Yes,
Monday. Still.
Sunday night is when you put it on. Yes, because
Yeah.
we were just that's what it was. Is I think you put it on when we were like getting ready for bed ish. And I think it was just like
dumb.
tuning out. I think that's what I was wondering why I was like closing my eyes, like falling asleep.
Because it was after our. So folks, we got this new TV and we have to test out the 4K YouTube channels.
Yeah.
So that's always fun.
Oh, my little boy. He's just lying here and purring and looking up at me and purring, and my heart's melting.
The babe.
Get you some medicine. That's what I was I'm gonna set an alarm extra early tomorrow because I've got it extra early. I just gotta. I was.
You gotta work.
Why would I do it before? I'm like, why would I bother? I'm like, I'm gonna get to bed as soon as I open before I get to bed. I'm like, if I'm picking up on the way to work or I pick it up on the way back from work, he's gonna get it at the same time. So I'm just gonna pick it up on the way back from work. Like relatively, 20-minute difference to stop at the vet and wait for them to get all the stuff. So, hi, buddy. Hi, my little you. So.
Oh, he's doing the stretch. Hey, Pancake.
All right. Hi. So yes. Edward Villaricci. He's doing much better. That's who we're just looking at. If you were looking at the screen, he's doing much better. We took his little cone off since he's lying here, and I can what?
Oh, Rokins is leaving. I just said see you.
Bye, Rokins. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, dude. And he's doing much better. He's still got this inner eye thing that the vet said is probably due to a lot of inflammation going on still in the inner ear canal. So he's going to give me an anti-inflammatory for that and trying to knock that out. Yes. But aside from that, he's acting like normal. He just hates the wearing the cone, so he's always mad at me when I put it on him. But he's been bopping around, running around, playing, being regular. So we're really encouraged by that. We're really happy. That was really happy to hear that. It sounded like, based on the way he responded, it sounded like he was surprised how well he's doing. That he expected it to be a tougher recovery because of how intense and invasive the thing was.
Actually, Pancake, he doesn't realize.
Don't do that.
It's funny how he gains weight and looks more like Jane.
He does. He really does. He looks just like Gene.
I'd be really sad if he starts to act like Jane.
No, that would never happen. Hi. Oh my God. You hear how loud he's purring? You guys can probably hear if I move the mic closer. Here, let me pull the pop screen. What's that? Can you guys hear him purring? Purred right into the mic for you. You too, my cat won't stop getting on the counter eating apple pie filling. Says Emperor Billy Ritchie.
Well, Emperor Billy Ritchie, see your
Pancake just decided to investigate time and found definitively that he does not like the taste of time.
No, he took a big old bite.
Not for me, for sure not. Let's see. You want to sniff the stick? You want to try again? Maybe it's for you this time. Nope.
No, he's literally not a witness.
He's still like trying to eat it, but it just bothers. He doesn't like it. You think you're gonna like it, but you don't. Story of Pancake's life.
Yeah.
Puts everything in his mouth. You think you're gonna like it, but you don't. You just don't. You don't. Okay. So
I have never. You ever been to? You used to go to movies around Thanksgiving, right? Somebody in the chat was asking.
Birthday weekend. Yeah, birthday weekend. It's funny because it's weird because like I always think of. I never thought of that weekend as Thanksgiving weekend in a weird way because it was always like Thanksgiving and then birthday weekend. So it was always like we did birthday stuff and family stuff and whatnot. So it was like it was just different. But yeah, no, we would go on the weekend. Like we never. But yeah, we would go on the weekend.
I don't think I've ever been to a movie.
We never did on Thanksgiving Day. We also weren't early. We're not early eaters. My family's always been.
He asked the question the day after Thanksgiving or in the day during
the day during Thanksgiving.
Oh, later in the day.
Yeah, later in the day during Thanksgiving.
That's like Wizard of Oz time.
No, because we don't usually start dinner until 6:30 or 7 at my house. 6 o'clock maybe. Or at the 6 o'clock at the absolute is the earliest we've ever started Thanksgiving. Oh, she Pancake head looks like a cat I had as a kid named Thomas. Oh, John 42. I wonder if any of our others look any more like that cat because they are all tuxedos. So I wonder if any of the other ones have more like similar faces or markings or something to one of yours, or to your boy, to your Thomas the Tank Kitten.
Oh god, not that show. I grew up with that.
I did too.
I love how you're like, he's so mad at me.
Not right now. If I put the cone on, it'll be a different story. Right now, he's just happy I took it off. He's probably thanking me, and he'll just get pissed off when I put it back on him. Yeah. I like not having the cone pop, but it's nice. It's better than having it on.
Him and his grooming.
Yeah, because I'm going to groom myself normally right now. Gotta do a stupid cone on my head. You gonna lie down there, buddy? Where did I put where's the cone? Oh, it's right here. Okay, perfect. Make sure I know so he's gonna go. If he wants to go adventuring, he needs it back on.
He says they all look like Thomas.
Oh, they all look very much like Thomas. That's so cute. John 42, if you ever, I don't know if you have any, child pictures from your childhood and whatnot, but if you ever had one, you should send it our way. We always love people's pet. That's one of the, I love people all the time. Or email me or message me their pet pics. Love it. If you ever want to send me cute pet pictures, you can send it to me.mindlessentertainment@gmail.com, or you can send it to any of the social media, places where, see, what do I have? You can DM me on Instagram because my Twitter DMs aren't open unless I follow you. You can DM me on Instagram. You can email me on that. You can always post them, to Twitter, replies to Twitter things and whatnot. Feel free anytime I, posted something about the cats, animals, whatever. If you want to throw in your animal pictures in those threads, I love them. I love it. I love everyone's pets. Animals are precious, cute, wonderful, magical. So I love all your cute animal pictures. All of them are for me. Matt Deckard's like, come over some turkey. But I'm already hosting the governor of California and the mayor of LA.
Gavin and I don't know.
Gavin and Eric.
How could they're Garrick together?
Garrick.
I think the guy that plays Biggs is like something Garrick, like his last name, or maybe his first name's Garrick. Something.
Garrick's the first name.
I think that's
there's one of the top men's foilists in the country is Garrick Meinhardt. The world actually.
Well, Garrick Marland is the former. Wow, if you type in Garrick like the thing, but you'll get his name's Merrick Garland, but for some reason Garrick Marland pops up first. Star Wars.
Merrick Garland pops up as Garrick Marland. It's retarded. See, the Garrick I know of is spelled differently. I think it's Gherek or something like that.
This guy's spelled even different. Garrick. Garrick Hagen. That's what Biggs looks like these days.
Rough. Oh, Biggs.
It's the only movie he was really known for.
But what was I saying before that?
People sending cute cat pics.
But then where do we get? Who do we blend to make Garrick?
The governor and
the governors. Oh yeah, Gavin and Eric. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know if you caught wind of any of this, or if people have been saying this to you, because of course, the whole big scandal was that Gavin Newsom was at a not.
Oh, you told me that. Ian.
The not COVID acceptable party, after being the guy, for the restrictions, the face of it in California, for this whole damn thing. He fucking goes to a COVID party. So fuck you. Good night, Rosetta. You have a wonderful evening. Wild Guitar, and thank you so much. It's been such a relief, having him back and having him getting better every day. More like him his old self every day.
Cranberry sauce.
So yeah, I'm excited for that.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish that other people would know, like traditional?
The thing is, it's the trifecta for me. Like, Thanksgiving is it can't just be the turkey. It can't just be the cranberry sauce. It can't just be my grandma's stuffing, which has nothing to do with any stuffing you've ever heard.
That's the reason I said, make sure, because if you just say,
it's my grandma's stuffing,
people are going to assume it's bread.
Oh, stuffing.
It's ground beef, onions, and rice.
That's my grandma's stuffing. It never sees the inside of a turkey, as many stuffings don't. But it was never designed to see the inside of a turkey. It is designed to be delicious, and it's amazing. But that to me is that trifecta, and those three flavors mixing on my plate are the cranberry sauce, the brine turkey, and the.
Are we actually going to be able to put salt and seasoning in it this year? because your family's not coming.
We make whatever we want
It
the
needs
stuff.
garlic, dude. That thing is bland as shit when your mom made it. I know she
stuffing?
was about the. She didn't want to give people high blood pressure or hypertension shit. It just needed seasoning. I know she didn't want to. Grandma's coming over all that shit. That is a fine dish. It just needs a little bit of salt and something else. You can make it up your way.
We'll add stuff. We're gonna have fun. So, yeah, but that trifecta on my plate, and that's like my favorite. It's one of my favorite things in the world. Xenomorph Squadron. When I was a kid, I loved the jelly stuff. I never didn't like the whole stuff though. My dad makes it fresh, and it's so fucking good.
I like both.
But I always loved both. And actually, for a long time, just for me, my mom would always get the canned one just for me. Because I think I probably would have experienced it at like some sort of Thanksgiving, whatever, and really liked it. So then for our Thanksgiving, once I knew what it was and liked it, my mom started buying. We'd always do one thing of canned cranberry sauce and the whole big bowl of my dad's regular one. So I still love both.
I used to just sometimes drive home, go to Kroger, buy a can of cranberry, eat part of it until I realized this is a mistake, which is like 3 spoons, and then throw the rest away. I've done that many times in my life, and I never learned my lesson too. It's like the time I was in high school, I got bored and I tried to eat pie filling. I was like, oh, I wonder what this tastes like without the pie. I took a bite, and threw it out.
I love cherry pie filling.
It was key lime pie.
That's not so much. Cherry pie filling without the pie though. Give me a spoon.
I've watched you eat it with a fork.
You've eaten it with me.
No. That was the cherries and
water. The cherries and water. You never ate any of the cherry pie filling?
Okay. I like cherry pie. My favorite part of most pies are the crust. Like I like when you get that like cut with the filling and all that.
I thought you ate some of those with me.
I for sure ate like a whole can of the ones in water because I was like,
those are the sour ones. Yeah, you definitely had massacred one of those. But I'm pretty sure because we had a couple phases where I got the cherry pie filling stuff because then it would just sit open and go to waste. But you definitely a little bit with me.
So you and I are the same person where we get something that sounds good, it's too sweet, we take a bite, we're like, we're done.
Oh, the first time we did one of the cherry pie filling things, I'm pretty sure I ate almost the entire thing immediately.
See, I never had any.
You definitely. But then later, it was
so
they went to waste later.
To jump off of what you're saying though about
I just read Zeman Skull 179 says Jesse do the Jewish. That was a laughter. That wasn't me like that was me reading that saying do the Jewish mom voice during Thanksgiving.
So obviously, I like the pumpkin pie, turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and gravy. That's why I make it because I was like it's a must because most places when they offer like this is our Thanksgiving whatever, it's always the turkey, dressing,
cranberry, stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy.
Like Bob Evans does a decent one. Like I don't know if it's like March, turkey sounds good. Fuck it.
I do love sometimes like restaurants that do like a Thanksgiving dinner all year round. You just go there sometimes. Like, let's do Thanksgiving dinner tonight.
That's exactly what I do with Bob Evans. You can get a little cup of the cranberries, and you usually get 2 vegetables.
Nice.
So potatoes and carrots are my go-to.
Solid, acceptable vegetables. Shadows Radio Blue says thoughts on the metal monolith that's flooding media. I believe it's a button that Giant Finger will press to reset our timeline to the good ending. The metal monolith. What is going on with that? I don't know much about this.
I have no clue what's going on in the world.
We have been really honestly between pancake surgery and then getting ready for Thanksgiving and stuff. These past couple of weeks, outside of what we look up for our shows and stuff, I've been more out of touch than usual.
Weird monolith found in Utah desert 12 hours ago from the New York Times. Oh, wait. It might be over already.
I remember hearing briefly about that. They found something that they didn't know. What did they figure it out?
On November 23rd, they posted a picture of it. They were saying where it is. Oh, people might have found it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, if we're going to be driving back.
You see the monolith?
Yeah, on the way back.
See the weird alien structure stuck in the desert somewhere?
Yeah, it's just a fucking sheet of... You know what it probably is? Oh, wait, never mind. They had Google going back and looking. I was going to say, I bet you it's just somebody that's fucking with you.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of the shit I would do. Like, put some kind of weird art installation, but not have it be like an actual piece of art that people can figure out. A piece of metal where you're like, what the fuck is this?
This is weird. What the hell? A weird monolith is found in the Utah desert.
What if? Hey, 1 second. What if this is a situation? Remember those people that put their kid in an air balloon?
DPS crew discovers mysterious monolith from air. That makes it weirder. This is not like someone wandering through over here. It's a part of the desert that you probably don't usually go to. This is like Utah monolith probably wasn't the work of aliens, but it is still a mystery. It is definitely a mystery.
What if this is them just say like, look, aliens are real. We're trying to tell you the entire time, but you're too fucking stupid.
Right.
Oh.
Team surveying bighorn sheep found an object, strange object, 10 to 12 feet tall, embedded in the ground in a remote part of red country. It's probably art, officials say. Probably. Weird. They do not know how deep it goes or how long it's been there.
We're gonna waste money to find out.
Oh, we are, but it won't be that bad because they should be able to shoot
Sonar.
like sonar at the ground, and different imaging. Sonar-based imaging should probably pull that up pretty quickly. Oh, damn. The internet caught up and it realized that I've read too many free New York Times articles this month.
No,
Rats.
it's not even about per month. It's like...
Oh, it's you only.
I don't use the New York Times, not because of any personal reasons. You can't look at their article for more than a second.
Oh, this guy does just... They do it that way. Everyone does it differently. Some it's like you have this many a month. Some it's like you can only read this much of it. Some of it's you can only read for this many seconds. It's like, fucking, all right. Others like you can read these ones for free, but not these ones. That I hate. I'm like, whatever.
Oh, by the way, just before you read that super chat, I just wanted to say, scroll real quick. Oh, Chanzar about the Superman 3 joke. Awesome joke. It's already there. You have to scroll.
Okay. Now I'm curious. I didn't know about this thing. This is weird. I like
After we get off of here, while we're getting food prep, let's look up a couple videos on it and see if there's like a full story that we can, instead of reading articles.
Oh yeah,
we
see if someone
get caught up on it or something.
Nice little. It just came out like I think this just happened like a day ago or something.
3 days ago for the
3 days ago. Oh, from the
like 7 hours ago was when people.
Was when they're starting. Yeah, when
So I think
started.
maybe tomorrow is when we should look.
Yeah, see what's up. Sounds interesting. I'm curious. I haven't. So since I just found out about Shadows Radio Blues, thank you for bringing our attention to it. I do not have a theory as of yet, but I will cook one up for you and get back to you.
My theory is the same as the New York Times.
It's
art.
That's my honest theory too. But
because I don't want to say this like in a condescending way, but because we're both artists, we can understand how funny it would be to fuck with people with something that we made and just like left it there.
100% would do it. Like this, that is the most logical explanation. Now we find out that they bring out that imaging shit and the shit goes like 1,000 feet into the ground. That's a different story.
And then I'm like,
now I'm fucking freaked out.
Honestly,
not freaked out, but I'm
if they do sonar and let's say it is 1,000 feet down, wherever, I don't know where the core of the earth is, so I don't want to like have it be some kind of crazy thing. But let's say they find that it goes too deep for some kind of art to do, then I'll go, all right,
aliens,
done. They've been trying to tell us forever.
Conclusive.
If
over.
You fucking deny it, it's like
what else?
Exactly. You would, if they do the sonar and it's not too pricey, they're like, oh, it goes so many feet down, ridiculous. Then the next step is to probably whatever the biopsy equivalent would be to test what the metal's made of. Exactly. And if the metal comes back, what if it comes back as an alloy that we don't even have on Earth?
Doesn't exist.
Then we live in a
shit.
You know, it's funny. A lot of the world's problems will cease to exist. And I'm not talking any of the sickness shit. I'm talking everyone's gonna be focused on this. Every part of the world, because a metal that's not found on Earth, it's 1,000 feet down, it's huge. The entire planet's gonna be captivated. So like if this becomes an alien thing,
be cool.
We'll have new friends in other countries.
True story. That's I always loved that trope too of the like, and it really is how it is. It's like all of a sudden, but I think that really, if you want to look at it and think about it, casts a lot. It's a really biting commentary on how we are as people, because you know that the thing is that if that happened, existential alien threat, the whole world is not going to be. It's not going to be, China versus the U.S. anymore, or black people versus white people. It's going to be humans versus aliens. And I wish that people would realize, without having a fucking alien or asteroid or some existential threat, that people would just fucking realize, yeah, that reality, at the end of the day, we're all humans and we all want the same things, exists whether or not an alien is trying to murder us all. It's real. It's life. It is. The end. So the Rookie Critic says, oh, did I miss one from his before? Okay, no, yeah. I was like, I knew I had him. There was another one from him. We just haven't gotten to it yet. There we go. Rookie Critic says, hey guys, hope you two have a good holiday. I'm gonna likely have pizza for it. Oh, and the metal thing was put there by Bigfoot, obviously. Well, only he'd be strong enough to lift it.
I love how we've had I love the Bigfoot conversations that we've had.
Yes.
Many times, because both of us acknowledge not a Bigfoot thing, but what if there's got to be some kind of undocumented creature out there? even if it's not a Bigfoot-like creature, I bet you there are. Because the thing is, the
Hell,
ocean. We don't have everything cataloged in the ocean.
Every time there's a tsunami, they find new creatures that were dredged up from the deep of the ocean.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't believe like the Bigfoot Sasquatch thing is like a whatever.
They
but
found a cave not that many years ago that had been sealed off from light and the rest of it.
Right?
It had that. There was one with art. There was that one
because you had like some celebrity got to go, but the rest of the world that was
Cave of Forgotten Dreams. No, but there was another one. I was reading this in this list of like weird places in the world. It was like a hermetically sealed it was naturally hermetically sealed. So the actual atmosphere in it was different from Earth's atmosphere. Like we couldn't breathe it. All the organisms in there were completely adapted to full darkness, and there were organisms that that have never been discovered on Earth before that literally can only exist in this environment because that is the environment is nowhere else on Earth is the atmospheric environment stable for them. Like it's bizarre. It's basically like a little.
So they're basically replicate in a lab.
It's basically like a little enclave of aliens on Earth. Now I have to go back and see the story. I don't remember if when they discovered it, if they destroyed it all accidentally. Unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes. Or if they were able to. That's
one of the best episodes of The Twilight Zone. An alien comes to Earth and gives people the cure for cancer, and they can't stop fighting. They accidentally destroy the cure for cancer, and I think they kill him in the process too. So like this, he like tells them what it is, and they destroy it, and he dies. And
that's the most human fucking thing ever. Can you not imagine that though? Like that's the thing. Can you not imagine that do we not live in a world where if that was the thing, someone has the cure for cancer and it came down to a bidding war, do you not think that there are people who would rather destroy that than lose the money out from it?
No, I would guarantee you if there was a bidding war for the cure for cancer, let's say one person, we'll just use like a Jonas Salk, like a guy. Mm-hmm. I bet you would get so many parties to up the bid to make it astronomical. So you're going to bring it down to Pfizer and a couple other people. Mm-hmm. But then I think you're going to have a Warner Brothers situation with Fox, with Disney, where you have another party bid too high. The other party has to buy it at a stupid rate. And then I think that other party sits on it for a while. Whoever pays the overinflated cost, I say holds on to it and doesn't like manufacture it instantly because they're going to all
or does it at a premium. Or does it at a premium?
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say there's the next step. Now it's the business model. We have the thing. How do we market it? Yeah. So I guarantee that whatever months or year, let's say they take a year to do it, it would never be like a.
Now the reason why you can't do that in pharmaceutical though, because of the peer review process, you can't keep you can't keep it locked down enough that when you're at the point where you actually have this thing and you own it and it's patented and this shit. There's also I believe there also are certain laws in the medical community where you cannot there's certain information and knowledge and stuff that you can't own and have full control of. That may be something that like that where it's like legally they wouldn't even be able to hold it. But if you did, let's say you had it, you sat on it and all that, you would have at some point you'd have to get it approved by the FDA and go through all the channels. When you started that, you now have a finite amount of time between doing that and releasing your game plan, because once that happens, another company's will be able to replicate it. So you have a very tricky timeline to set up maximizing your profit model on it before anyone else gets into the market. But you see what I'm saying? It's a tricky balance. I love our weird theoreticals like this.
But I also hate to say this, but there will never be a cure for cancer because there's too much money.
There's too much money in the disease.
Yep. So it's sad, and it's going to keep taking people. Took my grandma, all this other shit. But like,
now I won't say never. I just say the U.S. won't be the country that discovers it, because there are other countries in the world where their healthcare and health research, their healthcare systems, pharmaceutical companies, and healthcare research is not tied to the economy in any way.
Let's play a game. What if China invents it?
That's different.
I would say that this.
But that's what I'm saying too, though. Again, if China or US invents the cure, they might sit on it. So the thing is, maybe they be the ones that invent it to figure it out and just not spread it.
That's what I mean,
the country that says, hey, we have the cure for cancer will not be the US, because that would destroy the pharmaceutical industry. Unfortunately. So, yep. Rookie Critic says also, yeah, I agree with Jeff. Heck, we could have a real aliens land in New York, be on TV. People touch the aliens, and 70% of people would think it's fake. That's true. That's 100% true. And the sad world that we live in, because facts and science don't matter.
I would like, if, let's say, aliens were coming to Earth tomorrow. Actually, no. If I could pick when aliens would come to Earth, I'd pick Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The final float is a spaceship. Fuck you, Spider-Man.
That would be hilarious. Yes. Sorry, I just realized I want to say something.
You didn't even read the message I sent you.
What?
That's tonight's entertainment.
Oh God! Really, I prefer Edward Penis Hands.
How about a double feature?
Beetlejuice
And
Edward Penis Hands. I like it.
And then the next day we watch Beetlejuice and Edward Scissors Hands. Tim Burton. I hope the same porn director directed both, because out there in the world, I like to believe that there's a porn version of Tim Burton, and every Tim Burton.
I like to believe he calls himself something retarded, like Tim Bonerton.
Yeah, something like that. But like each Tim Burton film has,
or Dick Burton.
Wait, no, because Richard Burton was a famous actor. The point is, there's a porn equivalent to every, like, so instead of Big Fish, it's like Big Fuck or something like that. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, they definitely do an adult version of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of them, that'd be such a weird thing. Like, it's this guy's, his whole career. Shit, I could be that guy if I really wanted to. My whole career would be, I am going to make porn versions of Tim Burton films with a big porn budget, and it's going to look cool, and people will still come.
I'm not going to call you Tim Bonerton, though.
I'm not going to change my name.
Okay.
Why would a guy want to be called Bonertown? Who the fuck is he called Bonertown?
Because his pants are Bonertown. It's his one. He's the
a town is more than one object. You're Boner tent.
Maybe you want to go visit the mayor of Bonertown. Okay.
I don't.
Maybe someone else does.
It's not a democracy. I'm the emperor.
Of course, John 42, the classic, of course. Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Ryan's Private. Dude, that's from a Mad TV skit.
Is it?
They sew his dick back on the battlefield. They show it. I was like, what is this?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was like a whole. I think John Wayne Bobbitt was in it. Like the parody of him.
I had a friend in college whose thing was coming up with porn titles for Shakespeare plays.
High art and smut.
His best one by far. Tight ass and drama. There was something else for Andromachus though. It wasn't just Andromachus. It was tight ass. Fuck! Now I'm gonna kick myself.
Tight ass. Fuck! I'm gonna kick myself. That's very.
Instead of Titus Andromachon, it was Titus Andromedas. It was tight ass.
Androgynous.
Something.
That would work too.
Might have been that. But then instead of Coriolanus, Glory Holiness. That one was great.
Change the name.
Coriolanus already sounds funny.
It has anus in it.
Yeah, but Glory Holiness is a pretty good one for that one. Can't remember some of the other ones, but it was.
Have you ever seen the show Dukes of Hazzard?
No, I know about it. I never saw.
Well, there's a character on the show called Enos, and so the Family Guy episode "To Live and Die in Dixie," which has two titles because it's called "To Live and Die in Dixie" or "To Love and Die in Dixie," depending on if you're looking at the disc or the box art. And it's not like a one-time mistake. It like jumps. So it's like there's a release of the very best of the Doors, where the song's "Riders on the Storm." And there's other versions called Riders of the Storm, and it's the exact same song as a misprint.
Weird. Unlike The Sound of Silence versus The Sounds of Silence, where The Sound of Silence is the version most people know, and The Sounds of Silence is the acoustic version. Which is fine.
Do you say most people? Because I've heard a lot of movies with the acoustic version. Like a Watchmen has it for sure, not the one that grows into the one I like.
The only reason I'll say that is that song was written for The Graduate. And it was the title song of The Graduate.
Yeah, but so is Mrs. Robinson, and it's in.
No, Mrs. Robinson is not written for The Graduate.
But it's
The Sound of Silence is the only song written for that movie.
But it's in Watchmen, and it's in other movies. Like it's like Axel F is in other movies. It's not just for Beverly Hills Cop.
Outside of Watchmen, I can't think of another time where I've heard the acoustic version. The thing is, I'm not even convinced they used the fully acoustic one in Watchmen version of the one, because the beginning.
It's Sound of Silence is the one you're talking about. And the one I'm saying is called Sounds of Silence.
Yeah, and you're sure it's Sounds of Silence and Watchmen? Because I'm not disagreeing. But for sure, The Sound of Silence is the, fully produced song. Well, they're both fully produced. The Sound of Silence is the album version, and The Sounds of Silence is the acoustic version.
Let's see.
So, but...
Wait.
The thing is, you will almost always have The Sound of Silence...
You said it's for The Graduate?
It was written for The Graduate.
The song is from 1963 and 1964. The Graduate's like 69 or 67.
I guarantee you The Sound of Silence was written for The Graduate.
No, the Wikipedia page is a song, originally, Sound of Silence, is an American music group, Simon & Garfunkel, written by Paul Simon over several months in 1963 and 4.
Yeah, but
there's nothing about In 1965, the song began to attract airplay at radio stations. It hit #1 in January 1966. It was featured in the 1967 film The Graduate. It was included on the film's soundtrack album. Additionally, the release of Mrs. Robinson in 1968, along with 3 other songs from the film, Mrs. Robinson, Come She Will, and Scarborough Fair / Canticle. So
maybe Come She Will. There was one that was I had always heard. I literally in a fucking film class was taught that The Sound of Silence was written for The Graduate. The only one that was, because Mrs. Robinson isn't. Mrs. Robinson is not written for that movie. It was a song in progress that they were. That one I know for factual sure.
Mrs. Robinson is a song.
It was. I will. You don't have to read me this. Trust me. This one I guarantee you. It was Mrs. Roosevelt was the original working title version that they were working on at the time. He wasn't going to call it Mrs. Roosevelt at the end. That was the working title version. So the director for The Graduate came to, when they were doing the movies for The Graduate, they came to them and they're like, we want to use these songs. What are you working on? They showed him the working title, Mrs. Roosevelt. He says, this is perfect, Mrs. Robinson. That's the song for my movie.
That's not the story.
What is this story?
The story is, okay, so.
This is the Wikipedia story, though, because that's.
I'm sorry, but like if it's got cited sources at the bottom, that's what we're going to go with. Plus, you also told me Wikipedia is a citable source.
That's fair. It is now, apparently. I don't agree. I don't agree.
I can go.
What is the Wikipedia story?
But my point is, it was written. Let's see. Background. Simon and Garfunkel reached out to national fame in '65. Anyway, director Mike Nichols, then filming The Graduate, became fascinated with the duo's past 2 efforts, listening to them nonstop before filming.
Mm-hmm.
After 2 weeks of obsession, he met with Columbia Records chairman Klein Davis to ask for permission to license Simon and Garfunkel's music for the film. Davis viewed it as the perfect fit and envisioned it as a best-selling soundtrack album. Simon was not immediately receptive, thinking it was selling out, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they were paid $25,000 to submit 3 songs to Nichols and producer Lawrence Truman.
Scarborough Fair, Sound of Silence.
This is what we say, but yeah, that's fine. But this is just the Wikipedia page for Mrs. Robinson, and
they probably just tell you they submitted Mrs. Robinson. There's just more to the story. They submitted.
No. Like the song's not. There's fine.
Oh, yeah, you keep going.
It was like I was just trying to get. Anyway,
keep going. Keep going.
I'm trying to go back. You just keep. Anyway, see. Several weeks later, they re-emerged with 2 new tracks: Punky's Dilemma and Overs, neither of which Nichols was particularly taken with. He asked to do if they had any more songs to offer, and after a break from the meeting, they returned with an early version of Mrs. Robinson they had been working on. That's cool. I wasn't arguing that, but Sounds of Silence wasn't written for The Graduate.
That's fine, but I'm saying, but the Mrs. Robinson
was worked for The Graduate. So
that's what I said.
No, you said the Sounds of Silence was the only song written for The Graduate.
Sound of Silence, wrong. No, I said that about Mrs. Robinson. Mrs. Robinson was.
Dude.
Fuck. I hate everything right now. Everything in the world. For context, guys, all that time I just knocked it on the ground. Life is over. This is terrible. I mean, it's actually mostly salvageable, but well, I will go through and pick out the individual cat hairs later. Ugh. Anyway, so I was wrong about The Sound of Silence. I was misinformed about The Sound of Silence, but that is what I said about Mrs. Robinson. It was not written for the movie. It was a song they were working on that he heard that he was like, okay, this is the one, and that's why they made it Mrs. Robinson. The original working title was Mrs. Roosevelt. They didn't want.
But we're changing the conversation.
Sure.
This whole thing I looked it up was.
That's fine.
Sounds of Silence is not from that movie.
That's fine.
It's in Watchmen.
But I don't think Sounds of Silence is.
I'm googling Sounds of Silence.
Okay.
I'm saying I'll say it. But so we like I said.
Now make sure that's because again you talk about the accidental going back and forth.
Well, the thing, I'm going to go to Wikipedia. Or not Wikipedia. I'm going to go to IMDb.
Go to somebody actually tells you what the actual
I'm
credit
not
is.
guessing. I'm looking up right now. I'm not going to.
No, I want to know that too because I'm curious because I would be very surprised.
Watchmen, original soundtrack, The Sound of Silence. From 2009 when the soundtrack came out when the movie was brand new.
Yeah, The Sound of Silence. That's the one I said it was.
But also, The Sounds of Silence are 2. Hold on, let me find the other one because it's a YouTube video.
Okay. Is it in the video though? Like.
I'm not gonna play it.
Well, yeah. So if you play less than a copywritten amount, I can
right here. The cover, all on the Watchtower. Simon Sparkle's The Sounds of Silence. Nana's 99 Luft Balloons. So I was saying it is.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think that they miscredited the song, and I think your understanding is correct based on how it was credited. I think they miscredited the song. The reason I say that.
Hold on, mute your mic.
Okay, sure. All I needed to hear to tell you.
What are we?
Sorry, what did you want me to mute again?
Yeah, mute again. and then they played the song instantly. That's not
fair.
So
Fair.
that's
Fair.
not a fair assessment.
That's fair. Here's the reason why I'll tell you why I'm fairly certain most of the ones you hear are the sound of silence or the sounds of silence. And this, it's just the very, very beginning. So the beginning of the sound of silence is this very recognizable, right? It just doesn't have the same that the twang on that guitar, on the opening guitar, I think is so recognizable to that song that's why it would surprise me if a place ever wanted to even license the acoustic version, because that, to me, that sound of that note is just as part of the sound of the whole song as any other part of it. So that's all. Anyway, that's why it would surprise me. Where were we? Oh, we're actually
You got to pick up the time.
towards the end of the stream. I know. I'm not gonna be able to get all of it while we're on the stream.
Well, I just meant from that part because I was going to contribute to that.
Okay, sure.
Too. Like
Yeah.
That's fine. We'll just keep adding.
Yeah, I don't see any hair in it. It's all getting cooked and shit, so I'm not that worried. But yeah, there's one. Okay. I'll get the rest later. Oh, so now that we have settled, this is, by the way, if you're wondering, yes, this is what our lives are like. Is having long drawn out ridiculous back and forths on these topics about random details and stuff, because we both know so much random shit, and sometimes we hear different versions of the same story and have to fact check them, and then all that stuff earlier too about like when we're like, what if this and what if that, but if you did this way, you have to do that way. We build these unnecessarily complicated theoretical worlds that won't even and we like are trying to figure out the logic of how this world would work, even though it's a world that will never happen. This is what we do far too often. We do other things too, but you don't get to see those.
Like sleep.
We're
going to eat cheese in a minute when the stream's over.
Yeah.
I haven't really slept much lately. If they want to know what's going on in our personal lives, if they want to be like Ed TV, a fly on the wall, Big Brother. My hands smell like time. Mm-hmm. That's my biggest problem in life right now.
It's your biggest problem in life. That's not the worst problem in life to have,
But I hate the smell of time.
Do you really hate the smell?
It's not even a fucking... Really? You bought into that shit? I'm sitting here. If I hated it, you've been around me when I don't like something, the way something smells.
The thing is, though, there's different I hate, There's like, oh, I hate something, like I can't stand it. Like I hate the smell of time. And like, I just don't like having this concentrated amount of this, blah.
No, I just was saying it as a joke. Almost dropped mine.
Terrible.
I think we should
stop.
Do stuff for the stream or stop this because we're having too much dead air for the show.
No, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what I want to do. Oh, congratulations, Matt, on passing 6,000. What are we? Are we followers on Twitter? Are we?
I think that's what we spent on it the whole time,
we're still on Twitter, because congratulations, dude. Heavy congrats on that. That's badass. Always a lot of fun. And to your earlier question of what counts as viral, a lot of it is not to do with, it's the tweet. So here we are.
That's more than any tweet I've ever tweeted out.
That's more than any tweet I've ever tweeted. And a lot of it's not to do with necessarily the overall number, but you look at a lot of things like ratio, ratio of likes to your followers, and stuff like that too, and and speed of growth. To me, that's a viral tweet easily. Mm-hmm. 6,000 liked tweet. 100% viral. This is.
Well, what's the tweet? I mean,
well, that's now I finally found. I hadn't seen it before because I didn't see that. I hadn't gone on here. Okay.
Is that it?
So the whole thing it was a response to General Flynn, who retweeted somebody and tagged a bunch of people and said Republicans on the whole are very, very weak. I don't know why that is, but I can promise you that freedom cannot be defended by that low level. Go along, blah blah. There's a whole thread and whatnot. And so his response was in 1776, America decided to check its own facts in defiance of the primary fact checker of England. Hashtag fact checker history.
I wish he would have released that over the summer. It's like right before Independence Day type of shit.
Yeah. Although this is definitely related to something specific.
Oh, I get it. I just was saying that that specific tweet, Matt, again, retweet that around the 4th of July.
True.
You'd probably get 1 million responses.
That's true.
Honestly, with the political climate, when we get to the 4th of July, you probably could get the same response. Just something basic like that everyone can just go, Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
The secret, folks, in entertainment and reaching people is right in the center line. Don't worry about left. Don't worry about right. Make the best shit for everybody.
Saruin, no! I'll have to go back up. Saruin said he might have missed one of his chats about football on Thanksgiving. Let me see if I have it in here so I can pull it up, or it might have gotten.
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah.
We probably lost it while we were picking time. All right, here we go. Let me go find it for you though, because I don't want to leave you hanging. Of course, you're such a great dude, Saruin. We would never want to leave you hanging. All right, where was it? Oh, there it is. It was way back. Shit, I don't. Oh, that's what it was. We had 2 Thanksgiving super chats in a row. We got off on the Deadpool top. I scrolled back up. The top one we still had was a Thanksgiving one, so I just assumed it was the same one. And because it was Stratus Radio Blues and Sir Ruin of House Roundhead, sometimes I forget which one's which because they both have multiple names and start with an S, and they start with an SRs. So sometimes I forget which one's which one. I'm like, if I'm going back through super chats, I forget who did which one. You figuring out a solution?
I
like it.
I was like, what the hell?
I like it.
So now all we have to do is come up with a way to cover the hole, but like
easier way. Just the other direction.
Well,
so
no, I understand, but you gotta understand the lip isn't the same on 2 sides. You want this side to be your pull lip because you already have the aluminum fold. It's gonna rip it off that way. So that's what I'm saying. Like I can find
there's a roll of duct tape like around the side of the
hold on, let me just do this. Just take the tab off the can.
That works too.
Hold it in your finger.
So Sir Ruin said, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. At least your team, the Eagles, won't lose on Thanksgiving, unlike my team, the Ravens. Exactly. Sir Ruin, I don't know. Who are the Ravens playing? Are you guys, because let's see, it's Thanksgiving Day game. Are you the 3rd game, or are you playing? You're either playing
the Detroit Lions, the
Lions, the Cowboys, or you're the 3rd game. And so you're either winning, or you're the 3rd game. So if you're assuming that you're losing, you must be the 3rd game. So let's see. What are the Thanksgiving Day games this year? I'm pretty sure it's Cowboys and Redskins because I'm.
Wow, what a great fucking.
For Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
The former 5th game Redskins.
I could understand why people would be salty a couple hundred years later because that's just like fucking come on.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Like all the shit that was done, all the
really,
blankets, all that crap.
Fucking really.
Fucking
oh right, I forgot. This is when we're the Monday night game because we'll be back for it. But yes, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just got excited because I remembered that.
I don't even know who they're playing.
We're playing the Seahawks on Monday.
Well, now I'm torn. My allegiance lies to a green team with a bird logo, but I don't have any Philadelphia Eagles shoes. So if you could get me some Philadelphia Eagles shoes by the time that game comes.
Your Seahawks shoes are not out here. Your Philadelphia Eagles t-shirt is.
If my mom didn't get up my mom gets up for work in an hour. I'm going to call her in an hour and I'm going to be like, hey mom, you know those nasty ass gym shoes that are somewhere in the living room by the door? Can you make sure you send those to me before I come home for Christmas? Maybe Monday. I'll even pay you the money.
If she does that, if she can get you your Ravens shoes.
My Seahawks shoes.
Sorry, your Seahawks shoes. If she's getting your Seahawks shoes, that's why. They are the 3rd game and they're playing the Steelers.
Oh.
That'll be a great Thursday night game. Also, sorry. Because you are well. No, here's the thing, though.
I want the Steelers to win.
Here's the thing with that game. I mean, I don't have a dog in the race. I'll root for the Steelers because you do. Also, I tend to like the Steelers. I liked the Steelers until all the Ben Roethlisberger stuff, and then I kind of got over the Steelers. But now I just don't care anymore. So
here they are. This is what they were.
Yeah, it's a good. I really like the Nike series of I wanted to get the Eagles ones. I really like their Nike series.
I bought these for $20 at a strip mall in Gatlinburg, the Nike outlet. Yeah. But it's cool. And you could go like, it's like, oh, these are so cool. And you're like, oh, these are awesome. These are neat. Blah, blah, blah. It's probably what they wear on the field. And it's like, here's the ones I got. Oh, they kind of. You know,
honestly though, that Nike series they made of because that was a legit. They made a legit Nike series with just the color schemes without all the logoing and whatnot. Yeah. I think some of those look cooler than I think those are some of the more fun because, like, do you necessarily want a shoe that's just like your football team screaming across it?
Dude, I didn't even buy those.
Well, I mean, for you,
no, I didn't even buy those knowing.
No, it was exactly.
Shoes. I was like, I need shoes for the gym. My shoe size is hard to find, folks. We're a size 15. So, and for $20, I was like, oh, why wouldn't I buy it? I was like,
damn straight.
So Nick was there. He knows.
So the Lions are going to lose to the Texans.
Any team.
And starting at 9 a.m. our time, 9:30 a.m. our time. So we can have the parade on one TV and we get a football on the other. Oh my God, I kept thinking about that. I was like, oh, it's gonna be. We always have that Thanksgiving. It's like, okay, so you watch the parade, but then do you watch Miracle on 34th Street or do you watch the dog show? Do you watch football or do you watch The Wizard of Oz?
Right after the parade?
I mean, not the football's later, but
because I was like historically, I always watch the parade. Then I usually just kind of fool around the house and then go.
Well, because on who broadcasts the parade? Is it NBC or ABC or whatever?
I think it's NBC.
So
yeah, it's the Today Show people.
Yeah, so right after they finish their broadcast, they always play Miracle on 34th Street. That's like the thing.
Never watched that all the way through.
Oh, really?
As much as I like Christmas movies,
yeah,
I don't have any. I know the story. Like I already knew it. I know how it ends and everything just from seeing like clips on TV as a kid. Then they did that remake with Mara Wilson.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, because I don't like. I like Christmas. I love Christmas. I love Christmas movies. I don't like Christmas movies about Santa Claus.
Fair. That said, I really like this movie. Like I usually don't either. I do really like this one, and I'd say give it a shot sometime. Because it's like we're so used to a Santa Claus movie being a certain thing.
What? Yeah, I know. Like, or you really Santa Claus? He goes on trial about.
Well, yeah, but the whole thing is like, so you know the whole like the way they prove that he must be Santa Claus. It's cute. The whole thing is like we're so used to the Santa Claus movie being a certain thing.
You ever seen Santa Claus movie?
Which one's that one?
No, it's literally just called.
I don't know which one. Who's?
Oh God, like, Dudley Moore was the only notable name.
Probably not.
But it's like the people that made Superman made it. The Saul Kynes.
Yeah, but like, you know, there have been movies since then about proving Santa Claus is real and not and whatnot. The beautiful part about Miracle on 34th Street though is like, it's magical realism. Every other movie about Santa Claus is a purely magical movie. It's a magical movie where you see Santa with his sleigh riding around at some point, or even if you don't during the movie at the end, he's with the sleigh and the big thing. The whole beautiful thing about Miracle on 34th Street is that it lives completely in the magical realism the whole time. So there's no moment because the whole thing is you know, he's this, and the whole thing is that the family that sticks up for him, the kid believes he's Santa Claus the whole time. The mom that goes to bat for him, the mom that goes to bat for him isn't doing it because she believes he's Santa Claus. She is doing it because she believes he's this nice old man who needs help. And then, you know, the girl, her daughter so firmly believes in him and all this stuff and whatnot. And so the whole thing with the mirror, and that's the whole the name of the miracle of the movie is not the miracle is that Santa Claus showed up. The miracle was the way they pulled this whole thing off was, he has people send him that letters every year. If you have a physical address, you must be real. This must be his identity and all that. And so it never, you know, and then there's just the little cute gimme at the end, the little bit of magic right in the end of when they have their new beautiful house and all this wonderful stuff happens to the family and things like that. But they never really break the illusion, which is why I like it as a family, because it to me it lives as like a it's as magical as favorite Christmas movie. Oh, It's a Wonderful Life. You know, it's actually I would even say it's less magical than that because having Clarence just pop down as a fucking angel, I think, you know, is even more fantastical than anything that happens in Miracle on 34th Street.
I've noticed for me, all my favorite Christmas themed movies are fairly realistic.
Yeah.
Like I know National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation has like these crazy elements.
But it's a real family. The whole thing.
And even though you don't like A Christmas Story, it's just about a kid wanting to be
Oh, sure. No, yeah.
I was a kid wanting Power Rangers. I remember all the hype. That's kind of why I like that movie so much too, because knowing what's out there. Like okay, so Ralphie looks at the thing in the store. I saw the Power Rangers commercials on TV. He never saw it in the store. I never knew those toys were real. I just kept seeing commercials. So every day I'd see commercials. I want this. I want this. I go to see Santa Claus. You'll get it, just like in the movie. Except Santa Claus says, you'll shoot your out. Can he kicks him down the thing?
Yeah.
My mom, Santa Claus goes, you'll get every toy. My mom goes, fuck. So, folks, spoiler to one of my future stories in the comics, my mom gets on it. My mom makes it happen, long story short, but it's a crazy story of how it fucking happens. Story. It's the greatest Christmas story of the modern era.
It's cute.
Because that's
very sweet.
Well, like that, Jingle, certain things like that. The reason I like those movies is because I've either had Christmas experiences like that, or you can have Christmas experiences like that. Like, spoiler alert, folks, to the people watching, Santa's not real. And so, I understand like the magic of Christmas and stuff like that, but the magic of Christmas like that is only a small part of your life. The magic of Christmas, the family, the other elements is a full-time thing, and it's still magical in a different way. And all these movies deserve to exist and can have all these other Christmas-style stories like Die Hard, the greatest of all time.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, I prefer my Christmas to be a little more realistic.
But that's why you like Miracle on 34th Street, because that's what it is. That's the sensibility. That's the whole point. The whole point of the movie. It's called Miracle on 34th Street. It's a movie about Santa Claus being real, but the entire...
Jesse, the movie Miracle is all about The Miracle on Ice. And then there's that movie with Mark Wahlberg.
But what I'm saying, my point is that in spite of all those things that lead you in that one direction, the whole thing of the movie is exactly that.
Which one are we watching, though?
The original. I only ever watched the black and white original.
Natalie Wood? That's the little
Is that
girl.
the little girl?
That's the little girl.
I never
That was
realized
her-
that. Yeah,
yeah.
I think I never. The thing is, she's one of those people who I've seen her do things act as a kid. I've seen her act as an adult, and
West Side Story.
I know, of course, I know, now a lot more about her life than I ever did before. I knew the drowning. It was just one of those things where those were all unconnected events. It's only been recently that I'm putting together the whole picture of Natalie Wood.
Thank my mom for that damn guy. Dude, I didn't know she was the kid in Miracle on 34th Street until my mom had that on. I was like, oh, that's her.
That's crazy.
Because that's the type of movie I may have not sat down and watched it from front to back, but it's been on places.
Yeah.
I know, like I said, I've seen scenes.
It's one of those
everywhere.
ones though, kind of like something like It's a Wonderful Life, where like if you catch scenes of it here and there and you don't actually know, like you don't actually dig into the movie, because when before I'd ever sat down front to back on It's a Wonderful Life, my parents always talk about it, how great it was and this and that. You'd see, if it came on TV, look, It's a Wonderful Life, and they'd watch a little bits of it and whatnot. You didn't really know what was going on.
It's funny too from that generation, because like appointment television was a thing. Like that era, it was like, oh man, this is on at this time, or even if they stumbled across it, it was a special event. Us were like, we'll just get it on streaming later.
Exactly.
But by that same accord, we may be the generation will brush it off and watch it later. And this isn't about your parents, but we'll go buy it too.
We will.
Like we won't wait around on TV for The Wizard of Oz. Like, I'm going to go to Best Buy tomorrow and pick up a copy in 4K.
Exactly. I want to own it now and have it. Yeah.
It'd be amazing is if we accidentally had your mic muted this entire conversation and people were like, good as audio. Like
That was so funny.
Because it's getting kind of good.
Right? Serena's Rounded says, I think you missed one of Super does about football on Thanksgiving. I also think Jeff will like the James Bond reference in Spitting Image. Definitely got to check out Spitting Image now.
Definitely. Anything with a James Bond reference, you're going to sell me.
Really good.
Before we completely shift gears about Christmas movies, one thing I'd like to say, I think there's a portion of the population that likes the cynical side of Christmas because it's what they experience the most. So a movie like Christmas with the Cranks or something. Christmas with the Cranks is a top 5 favorite Christmas movie. And Krampus is too.
Never seen Krampus.
I bought Krampus. I'll bring it.
I actually really wanted to watch it. I loved all the like the poster and stuff and the marketing images.
It's one of those movies. It has a what the fuck moment in it.
Yeah,
like a good one.
Good.
And I've only watched the movie maybe even once. I just bought it because it was that good.
Mm-hmm.
But like the what the fuck moment stood with me or
sat
with me till now. Like I can vividly remember exactly what it is, and I kind of get a little goosebump. Like, oh, it's a good one too. It's a really good one.
I like that. Raging Rhino says, "Hey guys, just wanted to say hi. I think I saw something later on in here where you were concerned about whether or not his super chat went through."
Oh.
Now Rhino's always concerned about Pancake though.
So now is Rhino the guy from the Taint of Australia?
No, that's Lightning. Lethal Lightning's from the Taint. Rhino's from Victoria, which sucks.
Okay.
We all hate Victoria.
Apparently. But Lyndon Hall's the one we all liked, right?
Yes, Lyndon's the one. He's the chill one.
Okay.
Who never says anything, which is what makes him great.
Because we don't shut up, clearly.
Right. And
folks, if you're out there and you want to hang out with us and you don't like to talk much, we'll like you.
I'll just never forget the first time, and it'll always be my best memory of Lyndon, no matter what. Even if we go to Australia and party with these guys, it'll always be my best memory of Lyndon is how we just broke him that first time we were there. We had them on Thirsty Thursday when it was just him and Rhino, and he was like totally dead by the end of the night. Because wasn't he running on like no sleep?
Yeah.
And shit and like trying to get, and then Rhino was trying to edit a video and he got hammered. Fuck, that was fun. That was a fun stream. And then we got Lightning on and listening to Rhino and Lightning give it to each other the entire fucking time. It was great.
Now, what was I gonna ask you about? There's Lyndon Hall. Isn't there a movie by Stanley Kubrick, Lyndon something?
Stratos Radio Blue says, seeing that we were on music, which do you feel is more an impact on conveying tone for a scene? An original piece or a use of a pop song? It depends. It really depends on the scene. It's a great question, but it really depends on the scene.
Sorry, Barry Lyndon. Sorry, that's the movie.
Let's take an action sequence, right? Depending on the tenor of your movie, like a Mission Impossible is always going to be a soundtrack. It's always going to be an impressively, massively scored something because it just fits with the gravitas. But I think something like like Marvel, easily, throw a pop song for a fight scene, it works. No problem.
I disagree. Come as you are.
That wasn't a fight scene.
I don't think a pop song works in a Marvel movie, depending on the Guardians of the Galaxy one is a stretch for me, and because I like it and because it's fun, I buy it. But the fact I don't think a tape would last 30 years, and he wouldn't have the technology.
No.
And to me, it works for Star-Lord because it has a connection to Earth, but an otherworldly thing.
Yeah,
I don't. When you talk about soundtracks versus like scores and stuff, Tarantino does it right in his earlier stuff. Like Pulp Fiction, I love the
Yes.
use of the music in Pulp. What do you think?
I just say earlier is when you clarified earlier stuff, then it was yes.
What do you, I like?
My
I was
number
gonna say
one.
even Reservoir Dogs stuck in the middle when he cuts the dude's ear off and laughs. In
Yes,
his
that's
ear.
earlier.
It's before Pulp. I understand it's filmography, but when I said Tarantino, you're just like, oh, and I'm like,
no,
what?
I stopped side eye when you said earlier stuff. That's what I'm saying. I side eyed until you said.
Well, where do you consider it? Because I say up through Kill Bill. I hate Kill Bill, but the fucking music
Yeah,
works.
I'm with you.
The Green Hornet theme is awesome when they travel.
And actually, I will say across the board, Tarantino is baller with music, with the one notable exception being Django Unchained, which had no each individual moment in which the music was used, it was right for that moment and right for that scene, but there was no cohesiveness.
That's how I feel about A Knight's Tale. I hate period pieces with real like current music. I that's a trope I fucking hate.
That movie
plays, and I like the movie, but I don't like the music.
It took me a while. The thing is, it was good that I saw that one when I did, which was later. And actually, the first time I ever saw it, I did friends who raved around and stuff. First time I ever saw it was in high school when we were doing like 10th grade. We were doing medieval history, and just for fun on a fun season day when he didn't want a teacher probably half day or some shit. He was like, "All right, we're just put on the first 30 minutes of A Knight's Tale, and you're gonna pick out as many anachronisms as you can."
We watched it. Isn't it something with Chaucer, right? Like we watched it in school.
Yeah, Chaucer's one of the characters. That's Paul Bettany's character.
Oh, that's Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany's Chaucer.
But what I was trying to get at though, that tangent is like I don't when you talk about that specific thing.
That anachronism thing.
Anachronisms across the board. That's why something like Watchmen was cool for me because
I'm not talking about Space Battle. Sorry, I mean to carry on.
But what I was trying to get to is a movie like Watchmen, which has its own original score, but because it takes place through different eras of time, to me, if you're trying to tell a modernized story in time travel within reason to convey the tone, what does Apocalypse Now do? What do Vietnam movies do? They play the fucking CCR shit. Pop music, unlike Mozart or even John Williams, because John Williams' music is timeless. Star Wars is timeless. It doesn't. When you hear the opening notes, you don't go, "Oh, that's from the '70s." When you hear "Staying Alive," but when you hear the Bee Gees play "Staying Alive" and that fucking guitar, you know what decade you're in. So, to answer your question, I think a pop song is perfect when you want to convey an era that you are in. Watchmen did it great with All on the Watch, or not All on the Watch. Oh, when they played, was it "Sympathy for the Devil" in the Vietnam shit?
I've only seen that movie once. So.
I wasn't asking you. I'm
trying to remember.
My point is, though, fine. In 1985, they play "Everybody Wants to Rule the World" at the guy who owns the world, Adrian Veidt. That's, to me, when you can take a pop song and transform it to, like, it was already a popular song. It's my favorite song. But you can find a place for it that fits so much better than, like, an original piece of music. Because, yeah, you have the flourish of, the composer and the people that are performing it and stuff. But certain pop songs have meaning to everybody. So, again, we'll use "Everybody Wants to Rule the World." Even if you know it is just some fun 80s song, or you hate it because it's some weird 80s song, it's that 80s song, and it always is a time capsule. So, that's why I think those things work.
The only thing I was trying to say is when I said Marvel, I was thinking of Iron Man. I'm not thinking of space battles and Endgame and shit. I'm thinking of Iron Man.
But I even think like in the Avengers, with the first one on Earth, I think the Chris Cornell song, the Soundgarden song, only works because it's the end credits. If you had like Spider-Man, Hero, even if you hate Nickelback like I do, that song works because it's the end credits. It's like a song associated. If that song was in the movie, like there's a Dashboard Confessional song. There's a Candlebox song.
Not Vindicated.
In Spider-Man 2, there's another pop song that plays.
Okay.
I think it might be the same band. Long story short, it dates the movie. So
that said, at the same time, you can't hear Vindicated and not think of Spider-Man 2.
Do you want me to give you a real reason? Because it's not that popular of a song, and it's my favorite superhero movie. So of course, but also,
I don't mean you. I mean anyone. I mean literally.
But here's
anyone.
The thing: the only as much as Vindicated, I know here. Stop! I hate that song. I hate that band. So I love the movie. Why listen to it?
So for me, for my take, for me, something like Mission Impossible and Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie, have similar. There's similar production scale. There's similar appeal. I think they have similar demographic appeal. Big, bold action movies,
Paramount,
and action movies of the same caliber
and era. Because Mission Impossible 3 is right around Iron Man 1, right? 06 to 08.
I mean, realistically, the Mission Impossible era has spanned effectively from 1 till now because it's never not been good. So
no, I wouldn't say the Mission Impossible era has never not been.
Well, that's fair. It's never not been popular. Let me put it that way. It's never not been popular because the thing is,
there's that 6-year gap between 2 and 3, and it went away.
As in, it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt the popularity of 3 to come back. There's never been a moment. The Mission Impossible's never had a flop. Let me put it that way. Let me say that way. Mission Impossible never had a flop. I'm fairly certain that even 2 and 3 were both commercial successes, even if they were were not what they were looking for. We're not the same heights, and that's actually, I think, partially intelligence on the Mission Impossible series creation was no Mission Impossible movie has ever tried to be the first one in any way. And that's why the series can continue, because they don't try to retell or reinvent or do the first one. They recognize that was an anomaly. That was a one-off story. If we want this franchise to have
it's based off a TV show.
Exactly.
But all those characters are from Jim Phelps put it like this. The Mission Impossible movie series is the flip, because in the show, John Voight's evil character is the hero, is the main guy. So it's weird when you watch the movie. It's like when you see Terminator 2, when Terminator 2 is brand new, you're like, Arnold's the bad guy. He's coming in to kill him. Wait, he's the hero? You're like, oh my God, Jim Phelps, this character.
Because wasn't that the whole point of the movie was to be like, because the whole point of the movie was to the show. What?
T2 or Mission Impossible?
Mission Impossible.
Okay.
Was to be like, okay, here's this movie now, and that guy who was the good guy is not the good guy.
Yeah, it's just a twist at the end. Because remember, though, Mission Impossible came back again in the 80s.
That's what I'm saying. Is that's actually a really great gimmick to do, because the whole thing of the movie is who's the mole. I'm like, I'm thinking back of it, the intelligence of the time to go, we have this TV show with this character and whatnot. So what if we make our feature film off the show? And the whole plot twist is that this guy who was always the head of the organization in the show actually was this bad guy the whole time.
It's like Hydra. But
then the beautiful thing was the people in charge went, and maybe Tom Cruise has something to do with it too, went, okay, great. That show or that movie was Serenity to Firefly, and that chapter is over. And it was like Mission Impossible 2 was them starting fresh and making these one-offs with 2 and then 3. And then I think with 4 was when they started to realize
4 is its own franchise. Like, meaning 4 On is a new franchise.
It's a new franchise. It's a reboot. It's a soft reboot. Where, and I
wouldn't even call it a soft reboot.
It can't be a hard reboot.
I wasn't going to call it a reboot at all. I think it's just a direct continuation, because the gaps between the films, because it takes so long to get made, they feel new.
Yeah.
So realistically, Mission Impossible, because his wife comes back. Like the Bond movies, everyone says, well, Bond is singular. No, each Bond movie, if you actually watch them, they can all tie into each other.
Tissue.
Yeah, his wife's the main one. But
and I think that's what's great. I think they found that same model for Mission Impossible.
I think they found it by mistake.
Yeah,
Mission Impossible. Because remember,
the
Mission Impossible movie is from '96. The '90s was wrought with, let's take an old TV show and turn it into a movie. Addams Family, Beverly Hillbillies, and they sucked. Well, no, I like the Addams Family values. Point is, though, Mission Impossible is the only one where they took an old 60s show, they turned it into a movie, and it became its own franchise, bigger than anything that came before. Because Mission Impossible, I guarantee you, most people out there think of Tom Cruise. They don't realize it's a TV show. They don't realize Martin Landau was one of the stars.
Even people who know the show still think of Tom Cruise.
Oh, of course. It's like when you say, he's the only real mega star in it.
Because they've had, like Anthony Hopkins had,
a small part.
So they'll have big guys with small parts, or they'll have sometimes they'll get names for villain. They had Philip Seymour Hoffman, as a villain and stuff. But in terms of the core, cast, it was always him. And the only other constant from the first one is Ving Rhames, who's always been just a very, he is what he is. Middle. Exactly. He's one of those people. He's like we talked about that. He's a very comfortable supporting character always.
You know where he's raking in the dough. He's the voice of Arby's. He's been the Arby's voice for 5 or 6 years straight. Arby's, we have the meat. That's him.
That makes sense, because that voice always is so familiar. So it's not just because I've seen so many Arby's commercials.
I love Ving Rhames.
He's got such a great.
One thing to say about Mission Impossible, and this isn't to be contrary. It isn't contrary to what you're saying. Actually, the first movie is a star-studded cast. It's got Emilio Estevez, John Voight, Kristen Scott Thomas, big names of the time. Even some Emilio Estevez is an iconic name at this point. In The Mighty Ducks wrote him into history. Breakfast Club even did it better. But my point is, you're right, because they have pulled back even more. Because I know you like whatever the villain is from the newer ones, that actor.
Sean Harris.
So he's not everybody doesn't know him.
No, he's not. He's not a known name.
Henry Cavill isn't even Henry Cavill. As much as Anna loves him, and I like him as Superman, and I want to be Bond. He's not. He's that star. He's on the rise. He's on the rise. But he's still in that, definitely taking the backseat to Tom Cruise. He's Tom Cruise in Top Gun. And the funny thing is I think that formula has persisted because of, so now you also have stuff like Mission Impossible 2 didn't have a star-studded cast either. It had enough to have your Anthony Hopkins, whatever. Tandy Newton wasn't really anyone then, which is hilarious because I think she is now though. She's to a degree. She's much more of a household name now than she was then. But that's where I first saw her, and I remember her from that.
Legitimately, up until probably Solo happened, fucking if something before
Westworld.
Westworld, that's what it was.
I mean,
that's
like a huge
Westworld,
deal.
yeah.
A big part of it.
Because like, I knew she was. What was it she was in? Because I've seen the first season of. I actually really like her in it. Until Westworld, until that show came out, if I said Tandy Newton, I had to explain to somebody the chick from Mission Impossible 2 because it was literally the only point of reference I had for her.
She was in something I liked growing up.
Yeah.
And so because I don't really. I mean, Mission Impossible 2 is your thing. And I'll watch it with you, and we'll get the box sets and all that shit. But it's my least favorite Mission Impossible. So, like, I know
if you like 3 better than 2.
I hate 3, but I really don't like 2 at all. I hate them both. They're equally
2.
shitty.
2
They're like
amazing.
To me, they're Rise of Skywalker, Last
2
Jedi.
is so good. How dare you?
No, I don't mean in terms of that, but I'm talking like, what do I like less? I can't determine what I like less.
Yeah, but
I like them. I dislike them both, and I can't decide which is worse.
Remember how you got on my case the other day because I compared something to Hitler in the sense I wasn't making the comparison that
was a month and a half ago, dude.
Whatever it was. I'm saying my point is that you don't do that shit. You don't compare things people love to The Last Jedi.
But
it's fucked up, Jeff.
You're the only person that likes
Jeff,
Mission
fucked up.
Too.
I'm not the only person. There's at least 3 other people in the world who like it half as much as I do.
I bet you money more people like The Last Jedi than Mission Impossible
False.
too.
Not true. That is not true at all. Because there is a faction of people who believe Mission Impossible 2 is the superior Mission Impossible movie. We exist.
To what? To like all of them?
To like
the superior, you have to be superior over a specific thing. Like,
at least 3. At least 3.
If I'm going to be nice, I'll give you that one.
I will take 2 over in terms of quality of film. I don't think Ghost Protocol is very good either. I think
Which one is that?
4. I think
with the Kremlin and all that shit.
Yeah,
I stick by that one. I love that one.
That one to me, it's got some great visuals and great spectacle. That one to me feels the least like a Mission Impossible movie because it loses so many elements.
I love this discussion.
And the only thing that brings it, the only thing that redeems it, the only reason why it's relevant, why it's allowed to even stay in the conversation, and why I won't completely eradicate it from my Mission Impossible viewing experience is because see. Chico Stevenson, right the fuck there.
That's cool.
That's one person.
Okay, somebody in the chat. They made a Mission Impossible 2. Shadzar didn't even know it existed.
He's obviously joking.
I know. But the thing about Mission Impossible 2, compared to the one that you're talking about, Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible has the same heinous offenses. It doesn't fit tonally with what Mission Impossible is. It doesn't fit stylistically what it was or became. It's its own anomaly. Now, that doesn't mean it's bad, but I think the argument of tearing down Ghost Protocol. I think the critiques you have of Ghost Protocol are equally as valid for 2. Those exact same criticisms, I think, are stronger for 2.
Here's why I disagree. 2, once again, as we just talked about, with 1 being, this epilogue to the TV show and them not wanting to continue that. 2 has more of a 2 needs to be its own thing. That thing is if you want to look at it in this also in the span of the franchise and of itself. Oh my god, look! I no longer care about anything else that's happening because the pose that he's lying in right now is so effing cute, and I can't deal with it. I don't even. You're pretzel cat. It's a pretzel cat. I don't even know what he's doing.
Pretzel cat.
So I'll show you the picture, guys, but let me try to explain this to you first. He's got his front paw wrapped over his back paw, and he's resting his chin on his back paw. And the result is this. Pretzel cat. Crazy.
I didn't get to see the photo.
You got to see the real thing.
No, you're in the way. I just saw the
back. You didn't see it?
That's cute.
Pretzel cat.
Pretzel cat.
Is that not
Meet the cat. It can't be good.
So, now, here's the thing. I'm going to say
Where's
about
Mr. Fantastic,
this mission.
Sue, and Johnny?
More importantly, about this mishable, the most important thing about this Mission Impossible discussion. This Mishable discussion.
No. Mishable 2, Mishable 3, Mishable Ghost Protocol, Mishable Rogue Nation, and Mishable whatever, 7.
So the most important... all right, so here's the thing about the Mishable conversation is that it's over.
Then if it's over, then it's done. Then it's done.
No. It's over. The answer to your question, the answer to your question was, that answer's over too.
You got to go to that one
summary.
You got to go back to that one about the soundtracks because we spent almost 40 minutes talking about it. We got to at least actually have your answer.
Have my answer.
I answered directly.
You had a really long answer.
You just jumped around.
That's fair. So no, literally the only reason I'm ending the conversation is I realize if I don't right now, we're gonna be here for another 4 fucking hours.
Oh no, I'm gonna honestly at 2:30. I was gonna say we gotta finish this show.
No, I'm literally what I'm doing. I'm putting bows on things. I'm like, that's why I'm like, we're gonna finish this up. I'm gonna give you the 2-minute version of what I was gonna tell you about Sia, and then we're gonna be done. So before we got on the Mission Impossible tangent, we had set the stage of Mission Impossible, Iron Man. We can draw a lot of one-to-ones to the type of movie they are, right? It works for me in Iron Man to have him, like, to me, one of my favorite fucking parts is the way, one of my favorite is just the way they use Back in Black in that in the opening. To me, and that worked to me so well that I got excited when they called that Back in Far From Home. Even though in the larger scheme of things, yeah, that's all stupid. The whole making the suit and that whole scene is a pointless waste. But in that moment, for him to
you're talking about Endgame?
No, Far From Home. Oh, Spider-Man. Far From Home.
Oh, you're talking him. Sorry. I'm thinking you're still talking about Iron Man. Yeah. I think of Shoot to Thrill for Iron Man of the AC/DC because that whole summer of 2010, this song's 30 years old. They made a new music video about Iron Man, and it pops up in 2 movies too. Remember, that's what he plays when he goes to Germany. That's true. Your move, Reindeer Games. That
is fair. But I love whatchamacallit. Back in Black's also probably my favorite AC/DC song. So it just works. So I say that works, and like to me, because of who Tony Stark is, and that's one of the things when you talk about time period. Mm-hmm. Another thing that music can do is characterization. I think that you have a very consistent. I think the songs you hear, like the one he's listening to when he's working in the
you know what it actually is?
That angsty
mindless self-indulgence.
Is that that's MSI? That makes sense.
You know what he listens to in Iron Man 2? He's listening to The Clash. It's called God damn, why not radio? I can't think. I know the music off the top of my head. I can't think
MSI in that one.
Yeah, because my friend Toph used to play. I don't like that song.
So I don't
something whatever.
I don't care for them that much. I had like a few of their songs on that one album, but it just doesn't sound anything like any of the other stuff.
On, maybe
it's not. I believe fully though that there was an MSI that they would have put an MSI song somewhere in. If you guys aren't familiar, if you may remember this song, if you know Mindless Self-Indulgence for anything, Shut Me Up was probably their most popular one. Do you think? They don't really have any because they don't have any.
I don't know them. Like Suicidal Tendencies, Institutionalized. That's what it is. I knew it's a song that's popular, and I don't like it because my friend kept playing it constantly.
Gotcha. Yeah, Suicidal Tendencies. I've heard of that. I don't like that. I've never really listened to them. But I think I've heard. I don't like them.
I don't even really.
I think they're in that same sort of thing of mindless self-indulgence of these like bands that want to just shove everything in your face the entire fucking time.
It's like, calm down, boys. You're not that hard.
Exactly.
90 pounds.
The guy like the whole thing. So one of my high school fucking crazy ex, my high school boyfriend and shit. He was super into mindless self-indulgence. He loved their whole gimmick, and apparently the whole thing. The lead singer's like Jimmy Urine. He's just this despicable fucking human being. And they were one of those bands where their whole gimmick was like shitting on their fans and telling their fans they're stupid and stuff like that.
They didn't go anywhere.
Exactly.
I hate to say it. My least favorite part of a Kiss show was when they came out and said, "Cincinnati, we love you," and all this shit, but everybody cheered. It fucking works.
Mm-hmm.
Not my. I want to hear you play. You could have Paul Stanley. If you had to shut up, you played the one song I wanted to fucking hear at the concert. I'd have been happy. You play every other fucking song in your repertoire, including shit I don't like. They wouldn't play Strutter, one of their most popular songs, one of their staples of things. I even researched it. They played it at however many shows out of whatever. I was like, cool, I get to hear my favorite song. Nope, fucking walked out pissed.
There was one moment though, remember where they did a shout out for a city that I love and hate in equal measures, because I was at the concert and they changed the lyrics in a song. He has that song, the Na 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 song. There's the bridge goes right here, right now, all the way in Battery City. So they just changed on this. They probably just did it for the whole tour, just changed the name to whatever city they were in, which was cool because all of a sudden now you're part of the song.
You live in Battery City.
You're now part of the song. Exactly. The why I hate it though, guess which city I saw this concert in?
Dallas?
Boston. So right here, right now, all the way in the city of Boston.
Here's the thing though, you chose to go to Boston. You had the opportunity to go to other states.
I was in Vermont at the time. Boston was the closest place to see this concert. That was a 3-hour drive. I drove 3 hours to the MCR.
That was a 3-hour tour.
I did a 3-hour tour. Thanks, Gilligan. But that was the closest place to go see them. So
real quick, this is going to work. How come a local shitty TV station that has the rights to play Gilligan's Island hasn't come up with a portmanteau to do Happy Gilligan's Island and Thanksgiving together for some reason? Because that would be the perfect way to we're going to show Gilligan's Island reruns on Thanksgiving Day and come up with some stupid things.
That would have been a great one for 2020. Be like stranded on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Great. We're doing Gilligan's Island.
That's what TV Land should do tomorrow.
Absolutely. If you're stranded on Thanksgiving, come be stranded with these guys.
No.
Or you know what? Actually, then you on Thanksgiving Day you play the Swiss Family Robinsons.
Never seen that.
It's about a family that gets shipwrecked and lives on an island together. We
Didn't
had a
Pierce
VHS.
Brosnan do a remake of that?
Maybe.
Like,
I remember hearing something
one thing I
about
wanted
that
to say,
movie not too long.
When you
in
use
my lifetime.
the difference between a Mission Impossible 2, I've been waiting to say this because I knew where you were going though. Between a Mission Impossible 2 and an Iron Man, remember, Mission Impossible is built on a very iconic theme song.
Yes, true.
These other things don't
have anything.
And I don't think it's a fair comparison to use the musical identity of that film. Even Limp Bizkit and another band did a very famous cover of the Mission Impossible theme.
Mission Impossible 2 actually has a lot of that.
But I'm saying, like, I this isn't my opinion of the film, but I don't think it's a fair comparison because so much of those pop songs are built on the Mission Impossible score. So I don't think that is.
I was referring to Mission Impossible as a scored one. Like even if you go into Mission Impossible 2, because that's my whole point. Go into Mission Impossible 2. They take all the lyrics. They don't take none of the lyrics from Take a Look Around are in the movie, and all these songs that are on the music and from and inspired by one. None of those are in the movie. None of those. That movie start to finish the soundtrack.
Soundtracks.
I love that. But I love it.
No, I mean, as a kid, because not that one, just in general, because it's like, oh, I'm gonna get the soundtrack to Spider-Man, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get the music from the scene on the bridge and that, and it's like Aerosmith. I'm like, they're not.
This one was great because it was both. It was one entire CD that was just start to finish the soundtrack.
But as a kid, I didn't know those existed.
Yeah.
So I could only get this soundtrack at Media Play. But you had to go to Suncoast to get the score, and I didn't. It's the same price. It wasn't an issue. I just didn't know they existed.
Yeah, I you know why I did? Because I was into playing music and stuff at the time, so I was really into all that music and shit. And like that was, I think I've been told. So I also knew all the language and stuff to specifically communicate with my mom what I wanted. So I knew to say like I want the soundtrack, like and the difference in music from the movie and the soundtrack and all that stuff.
Dude,
so
when I was a kid, from the library, I mistakenly rented the Men in Black. I thought it was the soundtrack. It was the Danny Elfman score. So I'm sitting there going, "Oh, Men in Black theme." I didn't. And it said Danny Elfman. I'm thinking, I guess Will Smith sang it and somebody else did the music, like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is Quincy Jones. So I go home and it plays the Men in Black theme. That dun, 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 from the movie. I'm like, this isn't Will Smith.
That, by the way, is just as much or more of a bummer when you go to get the score from the movie and it's or the soundtrack from the movie and it's just the score and none of the songs that make the movie great.
Let me tell you, we can end it on this, but let me tell you the greatest pain I ever felt as a fan. Beverly Hills Cop is one of my favorite movies. The soundtrack has one snippet from the score, and for 34 years, they refused to release it. So as a fan, most of my life was, everyone's like, you love Axel F. I don't really like the song Axel F as much as people would think. There's specific parts of the score I like more, but because they're not called Axel F, I have to, because I had that too. So as a kid, I'm getting the soundtrack. I'm 10 years old. Why do I want a soundtrack from 1984 as a 10-year-old? One song. But I go, I know this song. I know that song. These aren't in the movie. So I got burned. That's why, inspired by those words pissed me off. Because when I was a kid too, my mom, love her to death, never cheaped out on anything but one gift. She did not buy me the official Star Wars soundtrack. She bought me some shitty ones that she got cheaper. And so I was burned on that one. So when I was a little older, I was like, if you ever buy me a soundtrack again, make sure it's the official one, Mom.
So this was cool because they separated. One was original movie score, and then there was songs from and inspired by. So it was, you got, obviously. Can I tell you? Take a look around. What?
I have the Mission Impossible 2.
You have that?
The one that you like.
That
inspired by.
I have both. I have both.
For me, shitting on the movies, I'm trying to tell you, I actually.
You actually have that?
I bought it years ago at a half-price bookstore for a quarter, and I thought, it's a quarter. I might put this on a computer somewhere.
That's mine came as a double set. And I loved it and it needed it. That was cool because you literally got both. You got the one that was just the score, and they even because it's not the regular version in the thing, so they just Take a Look Around on the soundtrack or on the music from and inspired by. I Disappear was not written by Metallica, was not written for Mission Impossible 2. They use it in the credits, so it ends up on that album. As a result, it's Jesse's Metallica
it's like
song.
Seal, Christopher Rose.
Exactly.
That song's a year older than Batman Forever.
Mm-hmm. So that's why that song's on there. And the coolest one on that, what I will argue is the coolest song on that soundtrack, though, is the Buckcherry song, Alone.
Oh, you played it for me a couple times, yeah.
Because of those, so the Limp Bizkit one is written for the movie, so that's why I use the soundtrack. Of
course.
Everything else, okay, to what degree was this inspired by? I don't know, I don't care, but you can't really tell.
It's just a phrase they put on the album.
Of course, because it's like, songs that sound like they could belong in this, basically.
Hold on, while we're talking about this real quick, I'm going to look up.
That's why I love, and I'll play you guys that's why.
Anything copyrighted,
I'm not gonna play anything.
Right now,
As soon as I would play anything else, because it wouldn't mean anything to them unless they know Mission Impossible 2 as well as I do. Because the whole beautiful thing of this song, if you know Mission Impossible 2, look up Alone by Buckcherry, is that literally is a song inspired by the Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack. It uses the guitar riff it uses is the bad guy theme from that movie, and it's fucking incredible. And I love it.
It's funny how you keep saying the words Buckcherry because all of a sudden I had to add about something with cherry in it. But real quick, they did a list of the top 10 worst soundtracks. I'll just read them right off. Rocky IV, Wild Wild West, The Lonely Lady, the Garbage Pail Kids movie, Barbed Wire. There's 2 pages of this.
Weird.
The Room.
But for me,
Cool as Ice.
Let's just go back to Mission Impossible 2 for a second. Let's say you put the lyrics back into the Limp Bizkit song at that scene. It falls apart. To me, Mission Impossible 2, not just 2, Mission Impossible is a type of movie it's a score movie. It needs a score. It wants a score. If they start getting
remember though, Mission Impossible is an espionage film. Mission Impossible is an action, a John Woo
True.
film.
But even so, I think the music being so iconic from the original one, and there's no universe in which the first one doesn't get its own original score because of the type of movie it is and all that. They're not going to go with pop songs for something like that. There's no universe where it doesn't get that, and because of that, and because it really just elevated that already iconic sound to a more cinematic level. I think it locks you into speaking with that, and I think actually that's one of the reasons. What's one of my biggest complaints about 3 is the music. Is that I don't remember it? When we'll go back through, you'll see.
I don't want to go back through.
One day, I'm sure we will. Tonally, musically, though, it's because it does that thing. It tries to make it modern. It tries to make it of the era. So, the
Star Wars trailers where they take the old classic movies themes and they try to put that one piano note and then it's not a Lord song. Exactly. It's John Williams music. Respect it, motherfuckers.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's why one of the big reasons I don't like 3. Because music is one of the number one reasons I do like 2. Because that's one of the things is you can shit on Mission Impossible 2 all you want. You can shit on it from dawn till dusk. You can hate it, think it's terrible. You can shit on it from dusk till dawn and turn into a vampire while you do it. But dong, dusk till dawn.
So you're either a Korean or me.
But you could be a dong in China too.
Joke. I looked away because I heard something outside. That's why I was like.
I was just saying Dong could be a Chinese name too.
I'm sure it is. Long Duck
Dong is Chinese?
But he's all... Isn't Getty Watanabe just like...
I don't know who the actor is, but I know that he's supposed to be Chinese. Yeah. I think he's supposed to be a Chinese.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
That's the type of movie that won't get any kind of love these days, but it's a catalog title that Universal realizes the value of, so it'll always get those releases and it'll always just fly under the radar until this woke shit goes away.
Oh, wait. I just realized, is there a parade this year?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know that. I just assume there is.
If there isn't, let's change our plans for people coming over.
Right?
Because I was like, we'll just sleep in and do it.
Whatever. I assume they can do it without the crowd. Go. There is. Yep. Drop spectators and young participants. That's all. That's what I figured they would probably do. But yeah, because you can easily socially. They're usually 6 feet apart on the bus anyway. I wasn't going
to argue it at all. I just was like, okay, cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. It's just I hadn't even considered that there might not be. But
did you see how early? Hold on, go back and see the time the parade starts. I don't want to get at 6 a.m. for it.
Oh, I think they rebroadcast in your time zone. Like,
I don't know. I've never lived out here.
Because that's the thing is that the parade it's like a 6 a.m. parade. We don't. In my family's house, I don't even think we actually watched the live broadcast. I think we actually watched the rerun broadcast. I think typically
they do that.
I think typically the 10 or 11 o'clock one might be.
I just wonder if it's an East Coast thing because you're close to it already, and so that it's not an issue. Not about technology. I just wonder if it's big because when I could usually like some kind of dumb sports event comes on after the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I'm gonna look. I'll tell you what comes on. Look at the local TV schedule.
Oh yeah, Pacific time. That's what it is. It's in Pacific time, but I'm pretty sure. Let me just see. Let me just double check here because. What to know about the 2020 National Dog Show on Thanksgiving Day? That's a good one for me to know. Now, one of the reasons why we moved away from the National Dog Show is they used to broadcast it in full, but they truncated its time slot. I think they want to put it on
the Westminster.
That's the no, Westminster's a different time of year.
I know. It's in August. You know, I hate it. It's because it's literally in their contract. It was the only thing that could preempt the WWF. Oh. So as a kid, there was like one time I got to stay up late to watch Raw, and it was the fucking dog show. And they hated it too because as an adult, I listened to podcasts. They left USA over that and other money reasons.
Oh, I'm sure.
The
It's the
Westminster
biggest
Dog
fucking
Show,
event of the year.
but it's bullshit. It doesn't bring anybody in.
So I was gonna say, let's say you're talking about like something like WrestleMania or wrestling events, the big, huge, at this huge ass pay-per-view events and whatnot. There's these huge deal events. I was like, if it's the biggest event of the year that this company's putting on, they don't want to get dicked over.
So at our time,
yeah,
9 a.m. we'll get the parade.
That's what I was saying. Is it happens?
But you're right. At 2:00,
they rerun it.
But the dog show goes first. So I knew something. It didn't go back to back. That's why I'm saying no, because
they do parade, dog
something
show,
else, and then parade again. I guess.
Parade. Yeah.
Take into account too, as a kid, you watch the parade. The dog show comes on, so I leave. I gotta get ready to go to somebody's house every year. The one year I spent with you, or the other year I spent at Aunt Pat's. I've never spent another year of my life at home for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, oh yeah, the parade's on in the morning, and you go off and you eat at night.
Oh yeah. Yep. No, always. So the thing is, they used to. I think they shortened it down for more broadcast time, just so they could put something else in another time slot. But they used to show the whole dog show. Now they just show highlights, basically.
It's a tradition that should go away.
I liked watching dog shows and stuff.
You're never going to convince me to watch the Puppy Bowl one year.
It's really cute though. That's one of the things.
But it's on during the Super Bowl.
The thing about the Puppy Bowl though, I'll never watch it. I love it. To me, the amount of Puppy Bowl I want in my life, or that I would want in my life, is probably no more than twice the amount they just show you during the Super Bowl broadcast when they cut to it. You know, like I could stand to watch a little Puppy Bowl here and there. Like if I could get my way, if I could program my television to just preemptively know which commercials I'm not going to care about and just only show me Puppy Bowl footage during those commercials, that would be the way I would want to experience Puppy Bowl.
But you can't.
No, you can't. But
I just meant because like we're gonna be together. Super Bowl commercials are my favorite part of the game. I would never want to switch over.
Oh no, I love them. That's what I'm saying. If I knew the future and knew which ones were going to be bullshit and not matter, or like ones I've already seen before and stuff like that, then that's what I would do.
Isn't that kind of a cock tease with the Super Bowl? It's like, oh yeah, Coke's running their new ad. I saw this at Christmas.
Exactly. It's not.
Best Super Bowl ad from last year was the Amazon one with Harrison Ford.
But Jeff, we could have both the best of both worlds. We could have the Super Bowl and the Puppy Bowl. I don't want to have
this
the Puppy Bowl.
This isn't the best. Also, though, are we going to have people come over at 2:00 then to watch the parade? You can get away with it. We're not going to get there until 6. See, now you're like, shit, that actually makes sense.
It does, but it wouldn't work. Because it would. Yeah. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Let me see. I feel like there were some super chats after this one that I will have to go find, but I could be wrong. I guess you're just gonna have to tune into the video that I'm gonna make to see what I have to say about Sia. Nope, that was the last one. Perfect, because I'm not jumping into a net 2 topic. Now, are you crazy? But do tune in. I will try to drop a video in between all the shit that's going on. I will try to get it out tomorrow if I can. If not, look for it early next week. I'm going to try to get it going on because more SJW fuckery, just a little cathartic yelling for your holiday. So I will try to get that out to you guys tomorrow. So if you were hanging out this entire fucking time trying to figure out what the hell this Sia shit is, come back tomorrow. But have an amazing Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a wonderful holiday. Safe wherever you're going, whatever you're doing. Safe from the Rona, the drunk drivers, the world, your family members.
We forgot to bring these in to cut them up.
Oh, I had brought them out here initially because I was going to bring a peeler. I figured if we got to the time, we could peel it.
I forgot. I thought you were going to bite it to be fun. I was like, wait, we're cooking with these. Ew. This is going to... Well, I'll put it back in the bag. Screw it. Somebody's going to get your coronavirus. Somebody's get your cooties. Conveniently, it's going to sit in an oven at ridiculously high temperatures for hours and hours and hours. So, duh. Oh my God. You thought I was serious? No. Oh my God. Oh. Of course I didn't think we should only drink on your streams because they go on way too long this way. AK, when we don't drink, black out. When we drink, we stop having fun. Because we're like, I either get too hungry or too tired or too something, so we stop having fun. When it's just you and I talking, we never fucking stop. Like, hit the broadcast button so we can get back to work. Right? Like, literally, that's what we should do. Fuck it. Next, in the future, no scheduled live streams. None of that bullshit. Just whenever Jeff and I get on one of these retarded things where we know we're going to be sitting here for the next 4 hours talking. We should put that on our Twitch channel. Right? I'm just going to turn it on and just be like, here. Listen to us fucking talk. If you wore more clothes, this would be a fun apartment to do a 24-hour. Like, people would like to watch our live feeds because everything we talk about and do.
I'm pretty sure people want to watch it more because don't wear clothes a lot.
That's fine. They can want to watch it. I want to
watch. Funny because the way you said it
with Selma Hayek where she's bent over.
It was just the way you said it. The way you said it was, if you wore more clothes, people would want to watch your streams. I'm like, thanks.
No, people would watch our feed.
Our feed. That's the same.
Yeah.
But I was saying the way you said it made it sound like me putting on clothes would be a reason that would entice people. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's the opposite.
Maybe you'd be more enticing without clothes, but you could actually do it if we had clothes on.
Is OnlyFans a live streaming thing? Because I will totally.
Oh, you're gonna get into OnlyFans now?
No, I was saying, if there's a live streaming platform where I can stream in the nude, it won't be sexual, it won't be pornographic, but we'll set up a 24-hour live stream.
Weird.
You can see me walk around the house naked. I don't give a shit.
So
my friend Bill saw that for months because I was like, all right, so you're gonna be living with me for a few months. I walk around my house naked. We're never gonna bang. Cool.
I met you, and within a couple of days of like, look, I know we met in April and then whatever, but like from the time we got back to meet, like hanging out again to then.
Naked. Literally, like after a month of living there, Bill was like, before I lived with you, I never thought it was possible for a woman's naked body to be unsexy, like a naked body, pleasing one to be unsexy. And like after watching you just do regular shit in your house, like sit around and cook and whatever, and take care of the cats and shit, just naked, there is nothing sexual about it whatsoever. And I'm like, yep. And then it was interesting too. We had a whole talk about how like a person sitting around. That's why the whole bullshit of like people want to be like, oh, revealing clothing being in this issue or this not issue, this whatever. Like
exactly how they're
exactly. It is way sexier for me to prance around all cute and dolled up in like a bra and underpants and giving you looks and shit than it is for me to like for them to see me the way I sit around the couch naked.
I disagree.
You're different.
I'm different.
But I'm just saying, in terms of like the sex factor, in terms of if you were gonna make a 5-minute video and put in and show it to somebody, people are going to find it sexier if I like
walk through a scene.
If I even parade up and down a hallway shaking my ass, in a scantily clad outfit, that's gonna be sexier than me sitting on a couch watching TV for 5 minutes butt naked doing this. Like, it's just funny.
It's like Al Bundy.
Yes.
You don't have pants to put your hand in.
So, if you want to know what's going on with the stuff, videos, other stuff, wonderful Thanksgiving. Oh, no! Dr. Alex finally catches the morning stream literally as we're...
this is the end of the stream, Dr.
Waking
Alex.
up as we're signing off. He used to catch more because I used to go on late. First of all, High Council used to go a lot later, so my stream used to start later. So it's like when you're back in the day before you lived here, when you guys were going till sometimes 10 o'clock at night and shit, I'm starting mine at 10, and sometimes we're going till like 1 a.m. And so like after midnight, I'm picking up my Dr. Alex's and my people, and I have 4 or 5 hour streams occasionally, here and there, and we get to pick up our fun people. He asked, I see his Patreon message, so it's a very last thing. I will check real quick. I don't think I have seen your most recent one. I have not, but hey!
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
That's a long message that I will definitely read through, and that's fantastic. But it's a lot of awesome stuff that you guys are going to want to know about too. So when I dig through this and pull it out, because Dr. Alex does a lot of he wrote authorized Doctor Who stories back in the day, and he's getting back into he's doing a whole alternate whatever season we're on, starting from when they introduced the chick doctor. He's created an entire alternate timeline. So if you like Doctor Who and you cannot stand the direction they're going in, subscribe to this guy right here, Dr. Alex. He's created his entire timeline for that story and reading them out loud. And he's got an amazing British accent, so you want to listen to him.
By the way, I just like John 42's comment. It's 2:30 a.m. here in Virginia. Just the matter of fact way he's telling us. Like, it's 12:32 out here. Sorry, 12:22 out here in California.
It's 12:22 here. So it's weird that you're actually 2 hours and 58 minutes ahead of us. Yeah. Jesse's reading homework. Indeed.
To be fair, he sent it a minute ago.
He directed my attention to it a minute ago. He's the one who said it too. So
who, Dr. Alex?
Yeah, Dr. Alex says Jesse's reading homework.
Oh, well, read it.
But I mean, not right now. I think he's teasing me for later and stuff. But so great, perfect, and yes, Dolly, everything you're asking me here, I haven't finished reading whatever it is, but whatever it is, it's happening. So
he's coming over to stab you in the head with a pickle.
The gist from what I'm getting though is that he's actually putting out a book of Doctor Who stuff, and he's doing or putting out a book of a series of his stuff that he's written and whatnot, and doing some cool stuff. So we're talking about how I am going to help him out with getting this book out there, because if you don't know, Dr. Alex has always been an awesome guy. First of all, an amazing supporter of my own and a patron for forever and ever and ever. Also, if you go back and find from a couple Augusts ago, like at this point, 3 Augusts ago now, when I completely lost my voice and I couldn't talk for a while, the awesome a British dude who dubbed my voice, that's Dr. Alex. So, really cool dude who's always been an amazing supporter of this channel and this community. And so we are definitely going to be hearing more and more about this Doctor Who stuff. So if you're a Whovian and you know some Whovians, tell your friends, get them all on Dr. Alex's channel, because he's writing really, really good quality Doctor Who stuff that feels like real Doctor Who. And you can trust it, because back in the day, the powers that be said, this sounds said, yes, you can write actual Doctor Who. He has been given official authorization in the past to write real Doctor Who. So this guy knows what's up. And so if you're a Whovian, go his way. We're finally done. Practice makes wrong. Happy Thanksgiving. Next time I see you guys live, I'll be 30. So keep that in mind. If you want to give me a birthday present, that's awesome. I love birthday presents. The best one you can give me, if you can even give $10 towards the Pancake GoFundMe, because I need to be able to get him the second surgery if it comes to that. So have amazing, safe, wonderful, happy holiday. I think in honor of the holiday, instead of a Corona kiss, we should finish with just a regular, good old us kiss.
That button ready, because you don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.